myself again. But it's the only...
Good evening and welcome to NUFC Matters. I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas and you've been enjoying the NUFC Matters content which we have done for you. The NUFC Matters Dream Teams have certainly been causing a bit of debate on Twitter. We started off with Neil Mitchell's team, and as you'll see, there's plenty to choose from. Daz, our own very Daz, who's on tonight, he's had his pick. Martin was on last night. We've got Nathan coming up as well very soon, and Spenny Mag. So plenty to look forward to over the next few days as we see in 2021. But tonight we have to see off Liverpool in our final game of the year, and what a fixture this is. Newcastle Liverpool normally would have 52,000 in the ground. They'll be roaring the lads on to try and get something out of the game. We've done it many times at St James's Park. Some fantastic games against them over the years. Tonight it'll be silent, and I think that's going to play its effect. But let's have a look at the two teams. Newcastle line up with Darlow in goal. Then we have Yedlin, Shaw, Fernandez, Clark, Ritchie, Hayden, Longstaff, Matty, Variety, Murphy, Joe Linton and Callum Wilson. On the bench we've got Dubravka, Carroll, Shelby, Gale, Lewis, Hendrick, Kraft, Almiron and Sean Longstaff. Look away if you're easily upset by opposition lineups, because this one certainly will. Allison, Alexander-Arnold, Phillips, Fabinho, Robertson, Milner, Henderson, Jones. And how about this for a front three? Mane, Salah, Firmino. We can only dream of something like that. Kahela, Wijnaldum, of course, formerly of this parish. Thiago, Oxlade, Chamberlain, Minamino, Shaqiri, Origi, Williams, both on the bench. So, yeah, fascinating night ahead of us, I'm sure. Chris, let's start with a lineup. What's your take on that, mate? It's I think we were having a chat before we came on. I think we all more or less agree it's probably going to be more of a 5-4-1 than anything else. That.
Yeah, I think we're still coming out of COVID, adjusted lineups, and so this is probably not our strongest lineup, but as far as like attack, but it's almost like you're playing for like a 2-0 or 3-0 loss and say, oh, well, it could have been worse. So I think this is like, it's kind of a good way to put it. Like, this could have been worse lineup. Matty Longstaff has stepped up in some huge games before going against Man United. But I'm not predicting a repeat here against that wanted. Where's the hole in the Liverpool lineup, and that's before, even if they're playing like half the reserve, still like they could field two teams that would be stronger on paper than our first 11. So this is like a damage control night as far as Steve Bruce, looking after his job, and anything short of like a 8-0 wipeout would be like Steve Bruce is sort of being like, oh, we're improving. We like how we played, and he'll find some excuse no matter how bad we lose.
Okay, Adam, welcome back, mate. Hope you had a good Christmas and hope things are going well with NUST. Newcastle's lineup tonight. It's as predicted, and Chris has made the point already about COVID. It's definitely played its part. We can't deny that. But I think really, anything is a bonus tonight.
Yeah, it's not an unsurprising lineup, I suppose, given the squad situation at the moment. Interesting to see Yedlin has stayed in the team, keeping crap out. I think Banquillo is on his way back from the COVID situation, so I don't think he's up for selection. But I was just looking at a few of the comments there, and one of the points I was going to make, as a couple of other people have made, is how on earth is Joe Linton still getting to the team, regardless of the formation, regardless of whether we're playing home or away, attacking or defending. I just can't believe that Joe Linton's still in the team, Steve. I mean, it's mind-blowing, and frankly, it's a little bit embarrassing that he keeps getting picked. He's proven time and time again, every time I'm on this show with you guys, we talk about how poor he's been in whatever previous game we've just had. So it's a bit frustrating to see him in there. But, again, to Chris's point, it might just come down to options. You know, Almiron is not a comfortable winger. As much as we've tried to force him into that position, he's just not really comfortable in there. So if we're going to play a 5-4-1 like it looks today, then there really isn't a place for Almiron in the first 11 on either wing, in my opinion. But if the alternative is Joe Linton, then I'd rather have Almiron out there. I'd rather have anybody out there, actually, than Joe Linton playing on the left or right wing. So, yeah, I mean, unsurprising lineup. Personally, I would have liked to have seen both Longstaffs start in the middle. I think Sean's had some good games and Matty's had some good games when they've been combined in there. And frankly, it's much of a muchness who partners them in there, because all of our midfielders are pretty much the same, in my opinion, in terms of their overall quality. Perhaps some difference in consistency. But yeah, it's a surrender again, isn't it? Like every time we play anyone in the top 6, we just surrender the game off the bat and we just hope to limit the number of goals we concede. We got 2 against Man City. I wouldn't be surprised if it was more like 4 or 5-0 today.
Yeah, Daz, if we're going to be playing Liverpool at the wrong time, it's today, especially after the result of against West Brom. I mean, West Brom, we saw them dismantled by an energetic Leeds team yesterday, but they held Liverpool at Anfield, and they'll be looking to basically take that out on us tonight. And that team that they've picked tonight would suggest that that they're certainly going to be given the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, they'll definitely be hungry, Steve. You saw what they did to Crystal Palace, was 7-0 or something like that. They took them apart, and they took the foot off the gas then against West Brom. But that team is frightening. And I don't think any team we put out tonight would have been a challenge. But I'm looking at our own team. I don't like the look of the likes of Yedlin at right back and Richie at left back. He's kind of suspect in that position. I like his energy and his leadership he gives, but just in that position, it could be dangerous there in both wing back positions. And as you said, it's going to be a 5-4-1. I'm happy that Shelby isn't playing, because if Shelby was playing, we know what we're going to get. He would be dropped. It would be 6 at the back with Shelby picking up the ball and trying to with the Hollywood pass. At least we'll see what Matty Longstaff can do tonight first.
How did you think Matty Longstaff played in the last game? There was a lot of criticism of him on Twitter.
Yeah, I didn't see it all, now to tell you the truth, Steve. I only saw bits of you guys chatting and match of the day highlights. So I didn't, from the look in your faces, I didn't bother going back watching the full game. But look, he needs game time. And why not throw him in there tonight? It might be a surprise from us. It might be something different. Look, we've got as well as all of the tune offers that we've got Man United, Man City, Leicester, Everton and Spurs fans backing us tonight. So let's hope we can do something for them and for us.
Shane, good evening.
Hello.
Where's the dog?
He's gone for a walk. He's gone to the toilet with my missus, which is kind of disturbing.
Dubravka's Jason Carter makes the point. Dubravka's back on the bench, back in the squad. Good to see him back.
Absolutely, it's good. It's great to see him back. We've talked about Carl Darlow's starting position on here for the last couple of weeks. I think it's only fair that Darlow keeps his spot. I think in terms of man of the match performances, he's been man of the match for the last 2-3 months, to be honest with you, right up there. I think if Dubravka walks back in to the team, I don't know what that will say about Carl Darlow. I know that the same situation happened at Arsenal with Martinelli. Who was it, Martinelli? Who was his name? Martinez. Who was the goalkeeper that moved to Aston Villa? Martinez. Yeah. I think Carl Darlow knows what level he's at now. And I think if Dubravka walks back into the team, I can see him leaving, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah, it's interesting to see him back. But Darlow keeps his place, which is the right thing to do. Darlow's had a good run. What do you make the rest of the team, Shane? I mean, it's I don't think it matters what team we put out tonight.
No, I know centre back. Liverpool had a couple of problems centre back. I know they've got Fabinho head up against Phillips. Phillips is relatively inexperienced, so you might be able to capitalise on that. But other than that, they've got a quality team. They've got Curtis Jones in the centre, who's fantastic. I think he's only like 18 or 19 years old, and playing alongside Milner. I think if this was a Rafa Benitez team, and I don't like going back to the Rafa Benitez quotes really, but if this was a Rafa Benitez team and you went 5-4-1, you could kind of say goal difference makes a difference at the end of the season. So you could say that's why he's gone for a 5-4-1. In Steve Bruce's case, I think it's just damage limitations, really. I think if we can walk away from this with a 3-0 loss, we'd be relatively happy with that.
Yep, okay. Tom Dixon, happy birthday, mate, for yesterday. Obviously, we weren't doing a live. Hope you had a good day, mate. Thanks for your support with NUFC Matters. Martin, good evening. You're on mute, mate.
No.
Kick him up.
There you go. That's it. You're sorted now, mate. We can hear you. Good evening, mate. You okay? Yeah. Okay, there's the lineup, Martin. Well, can you hear? Can anyone else hear Martin? Martin? No, can't hear you, Martin. We'll come back to you.
No,
Pete?
Martin.
Hear me now?
Ah, yes, there you go. You're back. Go on the Martin. Lineup. Give us your take on the lineup, mate.
Yeah, front two, I suppose. I wouldn't like to think Gale start. I think there was an opportunity for Gale there alongside Wilson tonight. I think there's definitely an opportunity to get it there back four. I think we'll be overrun in midfield. For me, as long as Henderson doesn't score and I don't have McNamara Texas for them and one of their own, then I can live with that. Back five, as expected, I think Shane was right. I think it's damage limitation. Agree with Adam. I think it will be 3 or 4-0. The front three, Liverpool, what do you say? You know, it's just goals and firepower. So I think it'll be a tough night for us. To Bradford back on the bench, I think is brilliant. But Darlow definitely deserves to keep his place without a shadow of a doubt to me. But yeah, damage limitation, Steve, I think I'm tonight.
Yeah, okay. Pete, Steve Bruce says that John Justice Allen says, big shock from Brucey in his pre-match interview. Liverpool are very, very good. He's like a broken record. He does say that about everybody.
This is why I say I don't like listening to what he says, because he literally regurgitates the same rubbish every single game, every week. And it's just, I'm sick of hearing it. And I'm sure everyone else is feeling exactly the same. So yeah, you know, what do we expect from Bruce at this point in time? However, the lineup is what I expected. The only thing I would have changed, and I think Adam touched on it, was Joe Linton. Why he's playing in this game, I have no idea. He's going to offer absolutely nothing in this game. In a game where, you know, again, we look at the centre backs. We did it against Manchester. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know what was happening there. Can everybody go on mute, guys? We seem to be having a few issues with the sound. Just if everyone goes on mute while they're not talking, that probably will help. Okay, go for it, Pete.
Yeah, no. We said against Man City that their defence were the frailties in the team. It's the same again tonight. You've got two centre backs that are both inexperienced in that position, and although they've got a fantastic attacking lineup, you know, we should have opportunities to catch them on the break. And what you'd want up there again is pace, and I'm glad in that reason that Jacob Murphy's playing, because he gives you that outlet of that directness. He gets the ball, he likes to commit defenders and run at them. But I'm surprised in one sense that Almiron isn't playing, because he kind of does the same job, and particularly when you've got Wilson up there. I think he needs that pace in order to support and press high. That was something that we did really well against Man City, although it wasn't a great performance. We pressed a lot better further up the pitch. Joe Linton doesn't give you that. We saw that when he came on a sub. He just offers absolutely nothing. So that again frustrates me. But yeah, I'm fully expecting to be dismantled today, 3 or 4-0, because they've got the players that will punish us. They're hurt, they're angry, they're frustrated that they dropped points against West Brom. And I don't see them dropping that mentality twice in 2 games.
Okay, Al-Walid, over to you, mate. What's your take on that starting lineup tonight?
Good evening, all. I don't know why Severus still think this plan might work. He still have faith in this formation. This backing the bus deal is gonna work someday, and he hoping this will happen at last day of the year. Um, Yedlin, I don't know. I read some news that he maybe will go to Turkey. Maybe this is for January transfer. Actually, I'm kind of missing Manquillo. I can see he put Murphy in the right for the right wing. Also, he tried to use Richie as double player, as left back and as left midfielder. He's good for it, but he's not getting the enough support. I'm sure after 30 minutes or first half, we all gonna say we need Almiron to be on the field. The problem with this formation, if we receive a goal, we can't do anything, unfortunately. We will be lucky if we just keep the score 0-0 and hoping some magic from Joelton and Wilson.
What I found interesting, Al Walid, is a few people in the comments have said that although we're missing Almiron's pace, his defensive duties have left a lot to be desired recently, and there were there's no doubt that he has been to blame for mishaps in the back four, which has led to goals in recent games.
Exactly. Don't some players they are very good, but some they can't do every role. They can't do defense. And Almiron, one of these players, even in Paraguay, he plays second striker. He very less defensive assignments. But this is what we saw against Southampton, and last game, the mistake he did in controlling the ball in back of his near Darlow.
Okay, Rich, good evening, mate.
Good evening, lads.
Yeah, good to see you, mate. Well, Newcastle Liverpool. It's a game where normally I look forward to it. It's one of the first I look forward to. Looking down the fixture list when the fixtures come out at the start of the season. I've got to be honest. I've been dreading this one. Not looking forward to it at all, and can only see Newcastle coming out with a defeat. But what's your take on it? Having seen the two lineups.
Well, I think Liverpool, barring Van Dijk and I think one of the midfielders. I think they're pretty much full strength. They haven't rested anybody. They've literally come here on the back of the West Brom performance, knowing they're basically going to put a marker down, and I think they're going to set an example to us. Really, it's going to be an entertaining game if you're a Liverpool fan. I think. I don't think we're ever going to see our famous 4-3 games like we had under Keegan when we used to go to Anfield. I don't think that's going to happen at all. I think we'll be defensive and on the back foot pretty much all night. I had a look at the lineup when we first started, and the app that I actually looked at, obviously you can tell the national media company, they actually had us as a 3-4-3 formation. So they've obviously never been watching many of our games this season. But so it'll either be 5-4 or it'll be a 9-1. Do you know what I mean? So But the only positive tonight is actually we've got Shearer as the pundit, so we've actually got someone who's impartial.
The only positive is got us as pundits, I think, rather than Shearer.
That's a better one. That's a better one.
Good stuff.
I was going to add to that, Steve, that one person that we don't have in the lineup besides who does appear on the lineup card is we do have Gabby Logan as the host, and she's also another celebrity tune fan. We don't have Andre here, our resident stats person. He would be able to tell us what's our record when we're in a match that's being hosted by Gabby. But I'm sure that she would like us to see well. So we're always complaining we don't have tune people on the panels, and now we've got two of them, and Big Al and Gabby Logan. So hopefully we do right by them.
Okay, got about 10 minutes to go until kickoff. The game, of course, is live on Amazon Prime, and we will be guiding you through it with our own our own commentary. Liverpool, of course, sitting top of the table at the moment, 2 points clear of Man United, who got what can only be described as a Alex Ferguson time win last night. A bit of Fergie time got them the 3 points. So interesting to see that our next game, of course, is against Leicester, who are currently in third place as well. So the fixture list certainly wasn't kind to us over Christmas. Chris, 10 minutes to go. Let's get predictions, as we've got a few more on the panel tonight. How do you see this going? Give us your prediction.
Okay, this one. My gut says it's going to be a clean sheet, but I'm just going to be charitable in this season of giving, festive season, and say it's going to be 3-1 Liverpool.
3-1 Liverpool. Okay, well, that's what I've gone for, with Andy Carroll coming off the bench to score. So I'm going to stick with that today. I think Andy Carroll will break his. I think Andy Carroll will break his duck. It might go in off his backside, but I've just got a sneaky feeling he will score tonight. Adam, prediction.
I think we'll lose 5-0. I think we'll lose 5-0. I remember, Steve, one of the first shows I did with you, we talked about how difficult this Christmas period was going to be, not knowing that we'd actually be playing, the top 3 sides all in a row pretty much. So this is always going to be a brutally difficult time of the season. And that was before we knew we had a COVID breakout. So it's even more difficult now. But I can't see anything other than an absolute hammer.
Daz, the eternal optimist, I cannot see you coming out with anything other than the same as the lads today.
Well, it might surprise you, Steve. I remember the show that Adam was talking about as well, and we identified this run as going to be a disaster for us. And I hadn't pinpointed any points for these 3 games, but I'd like to shout out to Aloid, who didn't make the Man City game. That he carried the positivity for me. So I'm going to follow Aloid and go. I'm going to say a 1-1. My head says we're going to get walloped, but my heart says we can get a 1-1 here, just to piss off the Liverpool fans.
And there's a couple watching. I've seen them already.
After my friends.
Pappy D says, well, that's a bull bet, Steve. Andy C, good luck. Yeah, I did cause a bit of mayhem on Twitter with that this afternoon. Andy was copied in as well, so he'll have seen all the positivity thrown in his direction. Shane, go on, mate.
I think Steve Bruce came out this week and said he's happy just to stay up. So it doesn't fill me with much confidence going into this match, if I'm being completely honest. I said the same with his City. I said 4-0 against City, and I think if Liverpool are up for it tonight, it'll be 4-0 Liverpool. So I'm going 4-0 Liverpool.
4-0 Liverpool, okay. Martin, have you managed to hear any of Bruce's pearls of wisdom, or are you still on a boycott of them?
No, he's talking away, but it'll be the usual claptrap. I have him on there, but look, the usual first line was they're a very, very good team. So, no different to what he said on Twitter. Now, I'm obviously listening to Premier Sports rather than Amazon. So, big up to Premier Sports. But anyway, I think it could be score-wise, it could be what Adam said. We could get a hammering. Hopefully, we're not another Southampton, not another 9-0. But do you know what? That's possible with the way we've been playing. But I'll take a little bit of Dex optimism, and I'll give it a little bit of ant spin, and I'll go for a 3-2 Liverpool win.
Wow, 3-2. I mean, looking back to that game that we played when they were going for the title, and even that seems like years ago now. And yeah, I can see where you're coming from. I'd be surprised. I think 7 goal thrillers. A lot of people have mentioned them in the chat as well. Seems like a lifetime ago. Jason Carter saying. But yeah, I think Newcastle will struggle to score goals against this team. Like,
yeah, I think we will. But you know what? If one of us doesn't have the optimism tonight, and I'm normally the one that's spreading the doom and gloom when it comes to these fixtures, so I'll do a little bit of role reversal between me and Ant and Deck tonight. So I'll go with the optimism, and he can go with the pessimism. So yeah, I'll go for a defeat, but by an odd goal.
Okay, Pete, over to you, mate. Prediction.
We're going to get hammered. I can't put it any other way. I think typical Newcastle under Bruce is that we might keep it tight for a chunk of the game. So I think they'll probably get an early goal, maybe the first 20 minutes, and then we'll try and hold out. But later on in the game, when we start to tire, they'll start to dismantle us like they did in restart, and it'll probably end 4-0.
Okay, Al-Walid, any more confident?
I think a draw, maybe. I think a draw, maybe. I think Liverpool will be unlucky today. I think Liverpool will be unlucky today. That's why.
I hope you're right, Al-Walid, but I'd love to know what you've been drinking. Coffee, aye, too much. South Park amounts, I think. Rich, you're not gonna predict a draw as well, are you?
No, I'm not going to make a score prediction. Full stop. I'm going to because of the way Bruce has got it. So I'm going to make a few of things I'll be happy with, and that's over 25% possession, a goal for us, our goal difference not to take a hammering, and as Daz and Martin heard earlier on, I'll settle for a Joe Linton shit on target.
Yeah, I saw that tweet. I did see that tweet. Yeah, that was a classic, absolute classic. Okay, in the chat, we're also talking about when we think the first goal's going to be scored, which is quite a good one, actually. So, yeah, I certainly think it's going to be early, fellas. I'll be very surprised if it's not. I think Liverpool will still start quickly. But, yeah, some people have gone, Rich, you've gone for 2 minutes.
I'm only a minute ahead of yours, though.
Exactly, aye. You've got for 2 minutes, aye. Daz has gone for 47.
Yeah, because if we can get to half time with it being 0-0, we're still in the game then.
I did laugh at Pete straight away. Pete puts 90, and then everyone's thinking minutes, and then it was a bit of comic time in there from Pete. He then puts seconds, which doesn't let us down, Pete. You see, doesn't let us down. Definitely thinking in the same kind of ballpark as me, I think. But
I thought Daz's 47 minutes was a bit extrovert. I thought he must be thinking Dubravka's coming on.
Chris has gone for 5 minutes. Yeah, I mean, look, I think they will get off to a flyer. I genuinely don't see this Liverpool team hanging back. And the big problem is, I mean, listening to your score predictions, guys, I think that most of us feel anyway, with a couple of exceptions, feel it is going to be a long, hard night for Newcastle United. And if we concede an early goal, that's when the floodgates might open. But as I say, funnier things have happened. I did mention it off screen, Chris. The fans always play their part. I keep saying this. No fans in the ground. And these are the games. These are the type of games where Newcastle fans are like the 12th man. This is where, 52,000 people shouting and bawling at a controversial decision against Newcastle really comes into their own and affects the players on the pitch. Even players like Liverpool who've won the Premier League, they've won the Champions League, they still get affected by that Geordie roar, and that's not there tonight.
Yeah, Steve, as we've been saying all year, Newcastle fans have been infighting on Twitter and social media, and we need a united fan base, especially when you face a champion and a Galactico squad like Liverpool. So you just hope for 1 week, at least that we get fans united behind the squad. Obviously there's a lot of written about Bruce and Bruce out and all that kind of stuff. That's beyond our control, but we can control how we act on social media. And you've done the Think Before You Tweet campaigns like that. Just sort of think, put your energy into the squad and not sniping against fellow supporters who are supporting the same club as you in the end. So don't direct the ire towards us.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Adam, the supporters play their part, don't they? And I mean, just watching the aerial shots of St James's Park, it really gets to me every time I see that, to be honest, that we're not there, that we can't go, we're not there to support the lads. And these kind of games, especially, Liverpool, Christmas time, nighttime game, crisp feel in the air, do you know what I mean? And you've had a couple of, maybe pints and a couple of whiskey chasers to get yourself in the mood to go there. You're belting out, the song, local heroes coming on over the tannoy. There's no better place. And, we can't be there to watch this. That's the problem. And I do think that's going to have a massive effect. You know, it might not have a massive effect on this team because some of these players haven't even heard that, but you know, on a lot of the players, it will affect them.
Absolutely. And there's no doubt about it. Every time you watch a game of football, whether it's Newcastle or any other game, the first thing you notice is how quiet and how empty these stadiums are. And that absolutely affects the players. I mean, how many times just last season alone did our fans at home pull us into 1-0 wins or 2-1 wins? I mean, that Gale goal a couple of weeks ago now, late on against West Brom, what a fantastic atmosphere that would have been to be in the stadium for that goal, for the end of that game. So, yeah, I mean, some of these players haven't witnessed St James's Park. I mean, you know, Callum Wilson and Jamal Lewis and the likes haven't witnessed St James as a home player yet with fans in the stadium. And that's really sad. And in many ways, Bruce is getting lucky, obviously, that there aren't 52,000 people watching this crap every week in the stadium. And it probably has helped him keep his job, or at least has kept the pressure off the club to replace him, because the boos that would be coming down from the Gallagate would be ferocious after some of the shit we've had to watch recently. So it is a totally different sport without fans there. They've got to do everything they can to get fans back in the stadium when it's safe and proper and appropriate, which sadly isn't going to be anytime soon. It wouldn't surprise me at all if we don't have fans in the stadium this season in its entirety, which for us is a particularly big deal because we are so reliant on the positive atmosphere at St James's to pull us over the line in some of these games.
Yeah, I would agree. Daz, game's kicked off, 2 minutes gone, and coming into my time for the goal. I don't think it's going to happen. You never know, though. It's just looking at the ground empty. It's soul destroying, isn't it? And it does have an effect.
Yeah, it does. And like with this time being around the Christmas time, over the main Christmas kind of period, and in between the New Year's, it would have been a lovely time to go to a game. And yeah, the crowd with us being at home would have spurned us on for a bit. And if we went behind, then you'd imagine that it quickly turned to Bruce out, and the pressure that would have been might play into our hands as well. But if that could happen, but yeah, it's not a thing that's going to happen anytime soon. There's even talk of there being a 2-week circuit break, I think they might be calling it. So with all games being put on hold, but it's not to be. It is what it is. There's no home and aways really now. Every game's the same really. So nothing we can do about it, Steve.
No, nothing we can do about it at all. Shane, it is hard watching these games like this. And, you know, it does affect the players. You know, not having crowds in definitely does. And tonight would have been a good night to have 52,000 in there cheering the lads on.
To a certain extent, yeah, I think it affects some players more than others. I mean, some of the players that haven't been playing well recently, if you have 52,000 there and they're on your back, it's quite difficult as well. So it can go either way, really. I mean, one of those examples, I know he's not playing tonight, is Jamal Lewis. I mean, there's been quite a lot of negativity around him and Andre Jolinton as well. And if you've got 52,000 there, moaning at him every time he gives the ball away or he doesn't have a shot on target, then I guess it can go the other way as well. So, I mean, obviously for games like this, it does play into the hands of Liverpool not having any fans there, but I don't think some of the players are big enough to take the pressure of the crowd either, to be honest.
No, I would agree as well. Martin, 5 minutes almost on the clock. Newcastle did have a corner there. Matt Ritchie got it in, but didn't trouble the goalkeeper whatsoever. And yeah, not a great deal happening in the opening part of the game. Just talking about the fans, though, it's a big miss, isn't it, for everybody? And Newcastle, of course, joining vast majority of the country now by going into Tier 4 from tomorrow.
Yeah, I think for me, it's one of those games that after the games in Liverpool and stuff, it's become a classic. I think a Newcastle-Liverpool game has become one that just stands out on the fixture list, especially, I think, for us, but I think for a lot of maybe neutrals as well, in that there was always goals and you can guarantee a decent game. For I think what's missing is you look at the stadium, Steve, as you said, and you're missing war flags, you're missing the banners, you're missing the black and white, and you're missing everything that kind of goes with it. Ooh, nearly. So yeah, I mean, it's not the same. I agree a bit with Shane. You know, like players that are not maybe doing so well, they've not got the fans on their back. But I think on a game like this, when you're not playing as well, I think we need that 52,000 there to give us that extra boost. So I think it's a shame that no one's there tonight. You know, I can see the snowflakes on some of the pitches here, and you just think of getting in there, having your couple of pints, and then, you know, you're standing there freezing your backside off, praying for a miracle. So, yeah, you know, it's a shame that there's no one there. But just, I suppose, for me and Daz, we've just gone back into lockdown again from tomorrow. So ours has been upped again, so everything is shutting down again tomorrow. So, look, we're no different this side of the water.
I think Ireland always have to go one better. They've gone tier 5 now. We haven't even got tier 5 yet.
Yeah. I tell you, there was a lot more tears when I heard that news today. Never mind now.
I bet there was. Newcastle starting off, you know, again, I would say brightly. I don't want to jinx it, but Murphy with a free kick. You know, great free kick, to be honest, towards the near post. Callum Wilson rose like the proverbial salmon and did test the goalkeeper. So, not as bad a start as we could have predicted. I don't need to tell you that the percentage and the possession at the moment, though, is heavily in Liverpool's favour, despite Newcastle being the home team. 36%, though, which is slightly higher than Newcastle's usual average. But things will change. It's early days yet as Liverpool push ahead and Matt Ritchie concedes a corner. Pete, not having supporters in the ground, we've talked about this before, touched on it before. But yeah, these big games is where, you know, it's where we come into our own as a support.
Yeah, and you know, if you look at recent years, you know, take Restart away. In recent years, we've troubled Liverpool at St James's Park, and a huge factor in that is the fans. The 12th man, we get behind our players, and you know, you go back to the 3-2 when Liverpool were toe in toe with Man City for the title. We rocked them on that day. We rocked them, and the fans were absolutely outstanding. Even the Liverpool players, Klopp. You know, everyone was talking about how much the fans got behind the players, and it raised us 15-20%. And we went toe-to-toe with Liverpool that day. We went toe-to-toe with them and really should have got a point from that game, at least. And we played really, really well. And, you know, that's been one of the biggest factors for us playing at home. We tend to play our better football, if you can call it better football. We tend to get our better results away from home without pressure. But when we are at home, when we need the 12th man, and it's not been there for a while now, it makes a massive difference. But, you know, pleasantly surprised with how we started, I have to say. The pressing from the front, Hayden's been the third man, Joe Linton, impressing a lot of the time. Jacob Murphy and Wilson. Wilson's holding up well. Sorry. Wilson's got put through by Linton. It's gone to a keeper. You know, it's been positive. You know, it took 7 minutes for Liverpool to actually get into our box. That for me is a winner. That's a winner right there, and I'll take that. But you know, let's see if we can continue it.
Yeah, okay. Al-Walid, Newcastle, St James's Park really is, you know, something to behold when it's full, and you know these games are very special. You know, not having supporters there is a big blow, isn't it, to Newcastle?
Yeah, I agree, but you know, we know that it's a weapon from two sides. It could help you, and sometimes it can't help you, because sometimes now it's a little bit less pressure, especially if you feel that. We all know that it's Newcastle not in his best state, so I think if there is no audience, no fans in the St James Park, it's positive regarding the level of Newcastle play right now. So I think this is kind of advantage for the game so far. I'm not worried about the forward triangle. I'm worried more about Robertson and I forget the right back of Liverpool. I think what's his name? I forget. Right.
Arnold.
Arnold, yeah. This player I'm really worried about because they are the actual real player who helped the Salah, Mane, Firmino.
Yeah. Okay. Rich, not having fans in does play its part. Newcastle, it's great atmosphere. It's in James's Park when the place is bouncing and jumping, and these games are the ones where we tend to have those kind of atmospheres, and it's usually when there's a challenge against Newcastle, free kick given against Newcastle, it's a wrong free kick, or a throw in isn't given, and that's when we tend to really raise our game and everyone's up for it.
Yeah, I think if you look over the last couple of years, it's when we've played the so-called Big Six at home, the fans have made such a huge difference. It can be something where, like the odd, look at the game, it was Dubravka's debut, where Dubravka's performance, lifted the whole crowd for the whole game. And then a moment of, magic from Richie, in the second half, and we win that, and he scored the winner from that 1-0 victory. But Dubravka, he had the perfect debut, but the whole debut, it raised every single fan in St James's Park. And you're right, it does. St James's Park is one of those grounds in the Premier League where opposition don't like coming.
Go on.
You go to when you start looking at, especially when we've had like Keegan and Robson and we were playing good football, teams didn't want to go to Newcastle. It seems to be now that obviously with no fans being there, some players feel like they're getting away with things, and some people, like the fans on them because it raises the game. Some of them, some fans, some players like the fans not there, so that they don't have to be penalised and have people on their backs. But at Newcastle, St James's Park, when that is rocking, Newcastle playing well, nobody wants to play at St James's Park if you're the opposition.
Just a break in our commentary, just to say that Callum Wilson went through there. That's why Pete was getting a bit noisy. He did it all on his own as well. Looked up, there's nobody there supporting him, so he had a shot at the against the goalkeeper, and it's gone out for a corner. So we'll stay with this corner taken by Richie. Cleared easily enough by Liverpool. Falls to Matty Longstaff on the edge of the box. Newcastle trying to put a bit of pressure in, but concede a free kick. And it's an offside. So, over 30 minutes, just over 13 minutes gone now. Newcastle United 0, Liverpool 0. How do you think the game's gone so far, Chris? You on mute, Chris? You're on mute.
I'm a minute behind everyone else on this. My Amazon, my Wi-Fi must be shite, so it might be worse or better than I'm perceiving it. Oh wow. Okay. Callum Wilson's had some chances. We just had shots on goal. You'd say we seem to be converting, playing into the bottom of the final third, but which is better than we said in some other matches against lower players previous matches. I sort of think maybe kind of along the lines of we tend to play down to the bottom relegation contenders, and we somehow tend to play better against the top six, and not predicting that that'll change any way of the score line in the end. But we don't look like we're being run off the pitch like you might suspect if you just looked at the two lineups on paper. So I'm not saying it's encouraging, but it's a strange or peculiar aspect of Newcastle matches in recent years that we tend to look all right against the better teams and don't clean up against the teams we need.
Jason Carter points out 26% possession. Adam, just looking at the match stats on Amazon, which is how I'm watching the game tonight, 74% possession for the visiting team. No surprises there, really. Newcastle just tend to love playing football, but without having the ball.
It's become a bit of a trait of it's become a bit of a trait of Brucey ball, hasn't it? Really, it might be the only defining characteristic of his team, actually, that we don't tend to have the ball very often. 26 is actually a little high. I thought it was going to be more like 20. I set the over/under at 25 for the game. I'm a bit like Chris. I'm watching a couple minutes behind you guys, but I'm actually just enjoying watching you guys react to it. I'm not all that interested in the actual game. But yeah, I mean, this is going exactly as we all expected, other than the fact that Liverpool haven't scored yet. But I'm sure it's just a matter of time. The only positive, I suppose, is that clearly Callum Wilson's got the beating of that young centre back. So if we can isolate him on that lad a couple more times, maybe we'll squeak another chance too. But yeah.
Yeah, you.
Straight to Pete.
Some of the lad. Go on, Pete. Go on.
Fantastic play. Little play on the left-hand side. Wilson's got it in the middle. Played it across to Yedlin. Yedlin put it across the box. Nobody there. Nobody there. That's where you want Wilson. But Wilson was part of the early play. What I've got to say is I'm absolutely loving Matty Longstaff in the middle. The guy's got so much composure on the ball. He just makes things look so easy in there. You know, he played the ball in for Wilson that created the early chance. Just a nice lofted ball. And that's what we want. We just want quality possession. And he looks so calm and composed in there for a guy that's so young and against an experienced centre midfield. He looks so comfortable. It's been great to see him. He's given us an outlet. There's goals here. Honestly, there are goals here. Really unlucky. Really nice play. We're pulling them across the pitch. What I'm loving as well, and I said it against Man City, we're pressing them high up the pitch. To win that ball back and to create that chance, there was 3 or 4 men around their players. Hassling, chasing, hustling for the ball. They give up possession. We then attack. Brilliant to see. Really, really positive, I have to say, in attacking areas. And Andy Robertson looks injured, which is always a positive sign. So, you know, just in general, just really, really, you know, good to see it actually looking like we want to get forward for a change. Just wish Wilson was in the box to get on the end of that, because he'd have put that one away. There was nobody there. Just keep an eye out for Wilson. He's playing a very smart game as a striker, playing on the young and experienced centre-back and getting a lot of joy from him early doors. He's staying away from Fabinho, the experienced non-centre-back, but the experienced player, playing off the young lad and getting a lot of joy from that. So just keep an eye on that one.
To be honest, I mean, Robertson's gone down. He's been getting an extensive period of treatment there. I just think he went down because Yedlin made him look an absolute mug by nutmegging him and getting the ball across. So, but he's clearly limping there. So he's up on his feet. I can't see him going off. I've got to be honest, lads, as well. I actually came prepared tonight. And I just want to thank Jason Carter, who's watching, a long-term watcher, who actually sent this all the way from Germany. So, Jason, this is for you. I hope you had a good Christmas and Happy New Year. The wine is called Trollinger. And after all my experiences with trolls in the last 12 months, I couldn't have picked a finer wine. So this is for you, Jason. Cheers.
Cheers, everyone.
Very nice. Very nice. Daz, back to you, mate. How do you think it's gone so far?
I think it's gone well, actually, so far. Like, yeah, we knew Liverpool were going to have more possession, but it's 50-50 so far. And Pete just robbed my line. I was going to highlight Matty Longstaff. He's playing really well, and it's just nice to see another alternative to Shelvey. You know, he can pick a pass as well, so it's just nice to see something different. And he offers more in other senses as well. But yeah, look, we had a few chances that Liverpool have got close. So we've had the better chances actually so far. But yeah, I suppose Liverpool haven't kicked into gear yet. But yeah, Newcastle for the first 19 minutes, we've played okay. Can't complain.
You know, Shane, it hasn't been the bad start, to be honest, mate. And Newcastle, you know, certainly been at the races. You need to start taking these chances though when you get them. Liverpool's certainly looking a bit dodgy at the back. They are missing a couple of key players in there.
Yeah, I think West Brom nullified them a little bit. Anfield, I know they had quite a lot of shots and quite a lot of possession. I think West Brom had about 20%. Then they walked away there with a point. So, I mean, it is possible. Before the game, they had some statistics come up. I think Liverpool have only won 1 out of the last 7 away games. So it does play in our favour a little bit. The start that we made is quite surprising. I thought we would have been a goal down by now. A question that I had with Alison Maximin if he was a Liverpool player, do you think he would have recovered faster than what he's recovered now?
That's a good question.
Because I look at him on social media, and he's out and he's about, and he looks fine.
Yeah.
And I wonder if we were challenging for the title, would he be back in England by now?
Well, the big question is he actually recovering from anything, or is he? How do you recover from a fallout with a manager? By apologising, I guess, or the manager saying, "Look, come back, it's all forgiven." But if you think that he's had COVID, then you would imagine that he would have had COVID and been going through the same process as everybody else. But you're quite right. On social media, he seems to be fine, spending time with family, etc. And the answer again in the press conference with Steve Bruce was as clear as mud when asked, how far away is he? Well, we still really don't know, and it seems neither does he. There's clearly something gone on. He's either had COVID and it has affected him, and he's been given permission to go to France, or he has had a fallout with the manager, which some people seem to think, and he's decided to go to France to get away from everybody. Nobody really knows, and it's a bit of a mess. The club should have come out right at the start, really, and just nipped it in the bud. But as always, they didn't. So, yeah, I think if he played for Liverpool, there's no doubt it would be handled completely differently. If he was at a club that was managed by Jurgen Klopp, then there would be a different scenario going on. But it's a strange situation. I definitely think it's a strange situation, and I don't think it'll be rectified anytime soon either.
No, and with the restrictions that we have now, we're flying over to France. Even if he was fit, has he got to come home and then be in quarantine? So is he out for another 2 weeks?
Yeah.
On top of what he really is? Yeah, so it's a little bit shit, really, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it is, mate. It is. No, it's a strange one. We might never know. We might never know the answer to it, mate. We might never know the answer to it, and that's a fact. Martin, over to you, mate. Give us your take on the opening 23 minutes. Newcastle United 0, Liverpool 0. Steve Bruce looking a bit more animated tonight.
Yeah, I'd say that's a flash in the pan. Let's not worry about him. I think game wise, I think we've been okay. I'd have to agree with Daz. I think we've had the better of the chances so far. Liverpool, I think, are there. I think that back four is there for the taking. I don't think that centre back pairing is rock steady. I think if we can not get caught on the break like this, are we going to jinx it now? Oh no, we're all right, safe, rock steady. I tell you. I think they're there to be got at. I think Wilson has the beating of your man Phillips, but I'd love to see Joe Linton just put himself about. Like, he's a big lad. Like, he's not small like me and Daz. Like, get on the field and put yourself about. Let them know you're in a game. Like, he doesn't seem to get himself into a position where he's in amongst it against the centre pairing, and he's getting up there and giving it a bit of Shearer-esque type centre forward play. So I'd love to see him maybe just rough up a couple of their players and let them know they're in a game, because I think they're there for the taking. But look, if Liverpool have the possession and do nothing with it, then it's that top stat on the left that counts, and at the minute it's 0-0. So we're still in it.
Pete, Newcastle 0, Liverpool 0. Our predictions were wrong. 25 minutes gone.
Look, I've been pleasantly surprised, I've got to be honest. Liverpool just had a half chance there, which came to nothing, thankfully. But look, it's been a really good start. We've been really positive in terms of trying to get men forward into the box and create chances. And we've had a couple of decent chances and really should have put one of them away. The only worry I have is in the last minute, or so, they've had a couple of counter-attacks on us. And you know what they're like when they get through. They counter with pace, with the likes of Mane and Salah. They've got players that can destroy you and hurt you. And that's why Yedlin's been in, because the last couple of times they've had counter-attack, Yedlin's just literally running past some of our players, running past Fernandes and Shaw and covering that space with Mane and Salah. So he's going to be a really useful sort of cog in that mix tonight. But no, it's been positive. Love Matty Longstaff in there. Like I say, I've said it before. He looks really composed and good on the ball. And he gives Hayden something different. And he's playing these nice little triangle passes just to keep the ball ticking over, but moving it, always looking to move it forward. Never looking to play it backwards. And that's been our downfall. The likes of Shelby will play it side to side, play it back to the centre backs or the keeper. Matty Longstaff is getting it forward. It's getting us up the pitch, and it makes such a difference. What I have seen, Murphy at times is playing as a second striker. So what he's doing is cheating sometimes. He's getting himself forward. There's been a couple of times he's been on that line of the centre back and looking to make that last run in and behind, and he's just not found the ball, or they've not played the right ball. So he's looking for it. So he's looking to be that support network for Wilson, and it looks like he's appreciating it. But we just need to keep the press up. The longer we keep them pushed up their end of the pitch, the more pressure it takes off our defenders. But you can only imagine, if we're going to be pushing men forward, we may get caught on the other end at some point. Hopefully we don't. But yeah, look, like I say, my prediction, thankfully, is out the window a long time ago, and we're looking like Daz's 47 minutes could be a winner over here.
Pete, I reckon Steve Bruce must have been looking at that Eddie Howe tactics masterclass video.
Oh, honestly, if anyone's not seen it on Twitter, I've got it on a tweet, and Daz has got it on there as well. It gives about a 1 minute and 20 sort of education on how Eddie Howe beat Chelsea 3-0, I think it was last season, and the type of tactics just for that particular game he put in place. And the detail in that was it's just a fantastic listen. And I put something out there to say, if only Wilson and Fraser had that at Newcastle, and what they would have thought coming into Newcastle and seeing, Bruce's tactics or lack of tactics, and how someone like Eddie Howe, with his mindset in attacking play, could make a real difference to this crop of players this season. And that was just something I put out there. But yeah, thanks for reminding me, Daz, about that, because it was a really good watch.
Yep, good stuff. Big thanks to our sponsors, as always. We have newworkwear.com, who are the specialists in the supply and branding of clothing for the workplace. And big shout out to qtechshop.co.uk, the makers of pool tables and snooker tables in Newcastle. And they also make our t-shirts as well. Get yourself an NUFC Matters t-shirt from newcastlelegends.com. Don't forget, we stream on iTunes and on Spotify. You can catch up with all the shows on there too. And plenty of stuff going up over the next couple of days as well. We'll revert back to live shows when we come to the new year, getting back with the likes of Liam Kennedy, Malcolm MacDonald and John Gibson. So plenty to look forward to in 2021. So as we approach the half-hour mark, it is still Newcastle United 0, Liverpool 0. Al-Walid, and so far so good for your prediction for a draw, sir.
Yeah, but actually I'm worried about, I can't see a trap the club doing for Newcastle. I think they just try to drag Newcastle to their field, make them tired, because I see many games for Liverpool this season. They're doing this a lot. Depending now, as you see in counter-attack, they are more dangerous in counter-attack. We see how against Tottenham, they win last second. They're making a player of Newcastle tired, and unfortunately we are not scoring. Maybe we get better chances, but as long as we're not scoring, we will pay for this later when we are our stamina is become low.
Okay, I will lead. Rich, what do you make of the game so far? It's not as bad as we thought it was going to be.
No, it's. I've actually been quite surprised. I think having that extra energy with Longstaff in the middle of the park's made a huge difference. Him and Hayden look like they've played together for months and months, really. But they just seem to be getting in and around that midfield and not letting them have the more time on the ball. There's even been a bit more of a press up front from Wilson and Murphy. I think that the biggest disappointment I've seen so far is when Wilson played that ball out for Yedlin, you needed that extra striker in the box. And obviously with Wilson playing the ball in, you can see Murphy trying to get there, which isn't, his not like a winger's usual role, being in the centre of the box. And you've got Joe Linton just literally toddling his way into the box, and you think, this is someone who's meant to be paid to score goals or wants to score goals, and he just doesn't have the body language or positivity that he wants to get in there like a goal scorer wants to. They want to be in that 18-yard box, attacking the 6-yard box, trying to put the ball in the back of there. And I think that's the only major disappointment I've seen so far in what's actually been a very surprising performance so far from Newcastle. I'm quite pleased as it stands.
Yeah, me too. Newcastle United 0, Liverpool 0. 30% possession for Newcastle so far. And shots on target, none for Newcastle, 1 for Liverpool. But there has been 4 shots on goal for Newcastle, which you've got to say is slightly better than any of us expected. And pass accuracy as well. All these stats that you can get on Amazon. 87% for Liverpool, 68% for Newcastle. But yeah, not as bad as we first thought. And Chris, is that more down to potentially, Liverpool maybe's not being on par with what they can normally be like? Are they struggling a little bit, or Newcastle and the tactics that Bruce has set out today, are they working?
I'm going to say it's more Liverpool's kind of playing they've got a number of festive period games to play, and maybe just not on form. Not to just totally discredit us. I think that we're showing some good shape, and we've talked in the past about not having good midfield play, and we seem to have decent midfield pairing tonight. So, I'd say it's a combination of both. Newcastle playing a little bit up and Liverpool playing a little bit down.
Yeah, okay. Adam, is Bruce's tactics working tonight? Are his tactics working, or are Liverpool not quite at the races? As Newcastle again get another shot, this time from Hayden, just goes wide of the upright.
Yeah, I think I would agree with Chris's assessment that Liverpool aren't at their best. But if you look at their lineup, only 5 of this outfield 10 would be in their first team, wouldn't it? The front 3 and the fullbacks are all main players, but if you think about their main midfield being Thiago, Wijnaldum, and maybe Henderson, or maybe Keita nowadays. So I think we are getting a bit of a break in midfield because you're playing against some B and C type players, perhaps. I don't think Jimmy Milner's played more than 1 or 2 games this whole season, has he? Or at least from the start for them in midfield. So we are getting a bit fortunate that we're playing against a lesser Liverpool, and their best 3 centre backs are all out injured. So obviously that's good for us. But, they're not at their best
God,
yet.
that was so close.
Should have been offside, surely.
They're not at their best yet, but there's a long way to go so far. There's still 57 minutes to go.
Yeah. Fantastic work that by Darlow again. Salah went
mile
through.
onside.
Mile onside, yeah. Darlow again pulling Newcastle out of the proverbial. We're just getting a replay now, but Mo Salah doing what he does best, jinking in behind the back 4, and Darlow was quick out of his box and just quick out of his area, and just managed to get a hand to it and put it wide. Corner, we'll stay with the corner. 35 minutes gone. Newcastle United 0, Liverpool 0. Yeah, easily cleared by the Newcastle back 4. Another opportunity getting jinxed in.
That's a great save.
Yeah.
That is.
That's a fantastic save from Darlow.
It was great save by Darlow.
Richie's getting caught out though. That's a couple of times now. Trent's caught him out, and then Salah went straight past him without him even seeing.
Yeah,
he's getting caught ball watching a lot.
Yeah.
That's the problem. That's the problem in it. With that is the problem with
Playing
Liverpool.
that 5, it is.
Yeah, you're inviting them on, and that is going to be an issue. They've got 3 people who can put the ball on the back of the net. We've got 1 up front in Callum Wilson.
It's that 5. It's that 5 though, Steve. For me, in that, like when we drop back, that 5 has to drop back. and what's happening is Richie's keeping kind of 5-6 yards just ahead of that 3, and Liverpool have started. I think they've copped that, and I think that like Henderson a couple of times now has just dropped that ball in to the right hand side, just in between kind of Shaw, Richie, or Clark, and we're getting caught out.
Playing a dangerous game.
Yeah,
Liverpool have woken up.
It's that ball that just the 3's getting stretched, and then they're dropping the ball just in between or over the 2 wing backs, and we're getting caught short.
Playing a dangerous game there, Daz. Newcastle done a lot of hard work, but it could all be for nothing if Liverpool get their shooting boots on.
Yeah, there was 2 good chances there, now, Steve. Yeah, and you were asking the question about is it credit to Bruce or is it Liverpool not on form? I was going to say it's credit to Bruce, and if he does get a result here, all credit to him. But yeah, Liverpool are just kind of waking up now, and as another corner comes in, and it's gone wide. Or is it another corner? But yeah, for me, the big difference is Matthew Longstaff. We're before we came on air, there was a few dogs on display. I'd call his performance today as a terrier-like. So yeah, he's putting it about, and he's running around after things you wouldn't also see Shelby do. So nice to see something different as well. But yeah, it's still a long way to go in this match. As Liverpool have another corner, swinging in now. Darlow punches it, volley by Richie, and it's out in the middle of the park again. That's where we are, Steve.
Good win by Hayden there as well. Just doing his little bit there, defending. He's certainly stepped up to the plate when we've needed him. So yeah, still 0-0. 38 minutes gone. Shane, it's not panning out how we all expected it at the start. So far, so good for Newcastle. Just need to start putting the ball in the back of the net if we get another opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. I think one of the things that was mentioned, has been mentioned a lot, are the players actually playing for Steve Bruce. And by this performance, you can tell that they are. It's been really, really good, to be honest with you. And seeing some of the shit performances that we put in, I think for me, against Fulham was one of the worst that I've ever seen. And then against Brentford, coming away from that and then looking at the performance tonight, I prefer Hayden playing in the centre of midfield rather than playing in the centre of defence. But I mean, I thought we would have been 2 or 3 goals down by now. So to keep it at 0-0, I'm not going to jinx it, but it does look like if we can see it to half time, it's looking very, very good.
The game is opening up now, says Golf and Geordie. Paul Gibson says 9 minutes to half time. Come on, lads. Yeah, Russian roulette by Newcastle, says Dunhill. And Flash Mexi agrees, saying that Matty is the better, has been saying that Matty's the better brother for ages. Zubair, good evening, mate. He says, this is the best I've seen Newcastle play since Everton. And for me, Matty Longstaff has made a massive difference. We need positive players like Callum Wilson moving forward in the transfer windows. Yeah, Martin, Matty Longstaff certainly doing well tonight and hopefully potentially making that centre of midfield berth his own.
I think the massive difference is, as a few of the boys have already pointed out, he gets the ball, he looks to play forward. He's not looking to go sideways or backwards. He's getting the head up. He's looking at the play around him. He's got Hayden. If you look at him, as soon as Matty gets the ball, Hayden just steps off slightly back. So if we do lose it in that middle, Hayden's there just kind of in front of the 5 again. So I think the fact that Matty is looking forward enables Wilson to get a run on. It enables forward movement. Oh, look, a good shot on target there from Murphy, just from the outside of the box. Goal kick to Liverpool. But yeah, it gives us that forward momentum that we don't have when Shelby and Sean seem to be there. We seem to normally go sideways and backwards. So I think Matty's been really good so far. I think I like the look of him and Hayden in midfield. I agree with Shane rather, or Shaza or Gaza or whatever. I think that's a much better pairing in midfield and gives us that forward momentum. So yeah, look, good so far. 40 minutes gone, 0-0. Couldn't have asked for more, I guess.
Just on that, Martin, when Matty Longstaff gets the ball, he's in the center of the park. He's not like, I know I might be getting a shell over here, but he's not on our box.
Yeah. I know where you're coming from. Yeah,
and then trying to ping a pass.
Yeah, exactly.
We're always missing something when he's back there.
Exactly.
In the center of the park.
He's 10 yards in front of the midfield, where Shelby's picking it up on nigh on the box line, and then he's trying to come forward, but. The problem is with Shelby when he drops that deep and he's looking to play that first pass, 9 times out of 10, Sean Longstaff is in behind the halfway line. Whereas the difference here is you've got Hayden just sitting off, but the two boys are running from the halfway line up. So we've got that ability to be able to get the ball, receive it, turn, and look forward. That's a massive difference for me.
Yeah, massive difference, Pete, and massive difference in Newcastle's attitude to this game. Certainly not sitting back and, just taking this line down. And 42 minutes on the clock now, and Newcastle's still 0-0.
Working really hard off the ball, every one of them. Even just then, just before he came to me, Joe Linton pressing up the deep right hand side of our defence, chasing the defenders back. They're pressing really, really well in the middle. Again, we just put the ball, give it away. Giving it away. Damn it. Brilliant defending from Yedlin. Excellent defending by Yedlin again. But they're willing to run. They're willing to work. The thing's missing is the final ball for us. That's the only thing that's missing. Wilson and Murphy are making some fantastic forward runs to really commit their centre-backs, because their centre-backs are playing quite high up the pitch. So there's a space there for the forwards to run into. They just need that intelligent pass over the top through, because Fabinho and the other centre-back, forgive me, I don't know his name, the young lad, they're standing so static in defence, and they're just expecting Allison to sweep. But if the ball's right, both Wilson and Murphy have got the pace to get in and trouble them. Again, Wilson pressing the ball up high, Murphy with him, Matty Longstaff up there. It's just so much better to see. Now, look, can this continue long term throughout the game? We don't know, because look, Newcastle players are working so hard they're going to tire at some point. But we asked for a reaction, and so far we've got one, and we're really sort of putting pressure on Liverpool. It's not just about sitting in and defend. We've had just as many chances on goal, if not more than them. We've had just as many on target as they've had. And we are committing them and pushing them further back. So the key for us now is to get to half-time with it still being 0-0 or better, and then we regroup, and then we go from there. That needs to be the objective now for the next 3 or 4 minutes or so.
But that just to follow up, Pete, on that press and that game that we're playing tonight, whether you put Matty in there, maybe he should have been, we've all said he probably should have been in the team earlier.
Yeah.
Why have we not employed those, if you want to call them tactics, whether it's Bruce or whether it's the players stepping up? Why did we not put that same press and that same game plan that we're putting there tonight against Fulham?
Well, that's the $1 million question. The $1 billion question, really. We do this against Fulham, we score goals and win the game.
Absolutely, and that's the difference. The problem is we don't play that, and we drop points against Fulham.
See, this is the problem. Is that we talked about the consistency. It's okay having a reaction to the negative press and the bad performances, but really, this should be the constant. This is what we should see from our team day in, day out, or game in, game out. And if we do that against lesser quality teams, we're going to get joy. We're going to get joy. We play the same way against Leicester, we're going to get joy. They've got lesser quality amount of players that are available to hurt us compared to Liverpool. We will get joy from teams. We play this away at Arsenal, we get joy because they've got defensive issues. We can exploit that. But this is the problem, is that this is the frustration thing about this is that this is a reaction performance so far. This is not a consistent every game performance, and it needs to be. We can clearly play it. The issue is we've got one or two players out there, or not out there tonight, but the likes of Shelby, that can't press the way that Matty Longstaff can press. He just hasn't got it in his locker, and that sometimes has a knock-on effect, because if you've got one player that can't play that style, the whole style falls apart.
It throws the balance out.
Yeah, it's like Leeds United. Leeds United haven't got star-studded players, but they've got players that can all play the same way. They've all got an engine. They've all got ability to run and work hard. Great save from Darlow. Fantastic save from Darlow. Leeds have all got players that can work and run off the ball. They've got the same mentality. When you've got players in your squad, like Shelby, that haven't got that same mentality, it all falls apart. And that's the difference. So having Matty Longstaff in there tonight, it's freed up Hayden to go off and press higher up the pitch, knowing that he will be in there to cover his back.
It stops you having to defend so deep, which leaves us no room to break out from.
Half time.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's a good half. That's a good half.
Yeah, Newcastle United 0, Liverpool 0 at half-time. Al-Walid, and you were one of the ones with a little bit of faith at the beginning of the game. You fancied a draw tonight. So far, so good. Match stats at half-time, 28% possession for Newcastle, which is still pretty dire considering we're at home. 72% for Liverpool. 6 shots for Newcastle, 3 for Liverpool, 2 on target for Liverpool, 1 on target for Newcastle. Pass completion for Newcastle 66%, Liverpool 88%. Those are the important stats that you need to know, but the most important stat, of course, is 0-0 Al-Walid. So yeah, happy with that?
I'm happy, but I'm worried about the stamina, about Newcastle. They become, I think, exhausted. If we focus on Richie, he's trying to marking Mohamed Salah and Arnold. This is very difficult. He did great. I think for me, best player was Richie, but is he gonna continue for the whole game? It's a lot of pressure on him. I can see Klopp. He's kind of comfortable, not worry much. Still, there is 45 minutes. Liverpool dangerous in counter-attack. They just trying to make more spaces. They try to drag Newcastle players to their area to do the counter-attack, and they're doing the long ball. We notice dangerous from Robertson when he come from the back. Arnold comfortable, just waiting the ball. I think he will be dangerous key for Liverpool. On the other hand, we have no much serious. We are not focused on forward playing. We are not making dangerous. I can say it just individual performance for the striker. Murphy get the ball, just take a shot. Wilson, he's a little in a hurry. Wilton trying to do something, but he can't. I think there is no much. There is tactics. Surprisingly, there is defense tactic, but there is no attacking tactics. Serious attacking tactics by Cyprus.
Okay, Rich, half time. Newcastle United 0, Liverpool 0. I certainly did not expect to be saying that. My only concern now is a Steve Bruce half-time team talk.
I think it's probably going to be an easy one for a change. Just keep doing what you do. It's probably an easy one, actually, Steve. I think some of the lads have mentioned about how can they keep it up with the press and energy. I think the one thing Newcastle, like with the way that the fixtures have fell, I know obviously we've got an absolute shocking fixture list, is actually the break we've had in between. We've had some of the teams in the Premier League been playing after 2 days. We've played Saturday, Wednesday, Sunday. So technically, our players have had a lot more rest. So I'm hoping that they should have more energy than what perhaps some people have been talking about. But I think the fact that the way the Newcastle have been played has all been about the fact that Hayden and Matty Longstaff have been playing together in the midfield. As I think the back three seem to be a bit deeper. They don't seem to go past the halfway line, which is good. And I think that's allowed Hayden to relax a little bit, knowing that he's got a bit of cover behind him. There's at least 3 people behind him. Then the fact he's got the energy behind of Longstaff with him, they've just been able to play their natural game, press them all over. I think, as I mentioned earlier on, the only disappointment I would say so far, if I was looking to make a change at half time, would probably bring Joe Linton off and possibly bring either Gale or Almiron on. I think the pace of Wilson and Murphy's caused that their back four problems. And it would just be nice to have those issues with Liverpool on the left-hand side as well.
Yeah, okay, good stuff. Yeah, good first half. I don't think I can disagree with anything any of the guys have said. And it's all down to the substitutions now, and it depends on Liverpool whether they can get anything more out of the misfiring front three, I suppose, because they haven't been at the races for a lot of the season, but they're still top of the league, and when a team's not playing as well and still top of the league, they're still a danger. And going to be interesting to see what happens in the second half. I did say that I fancied Carroll for a sneaky goal, and Deeney says Carroll will fancy the last 15 against Phillips if it's still 0-0. I've just had a funny feeling all day that Andy Carroll would get a goal today for whatever reason. Obviously, it's his ex club, but I've just got that feeling. Second half, then, Chris, how are we going to change it? Are we going to change it? Who would you like to see? Come on, Chris.
Yeah, some of the lads that said throw an Almiron and Gale. I think that would be a good change of pace. We haven't seen terrible play from Joe Linton, but I think a key, a strategic substitution would be good for changing things up a little bit, getting us a little more different style of play in the final third. I think Almiron, not predicting anything, but he's been down and down and out, let's say. I've always liked him. Thought that he tries hard. So I'd like to see what he can do against this side.
Yep. Okay, Adam, would you change it?
Not yet. Those final 10, 15 minutes there were really sort of all Liverpool, weren't they? They had 2 or 3 attacks there. Like I think Pete was saying, you can see what they're doing, can't you? They're sort of picking us off in the wing back spots because obviously Richie's not a natural wing back. Not sure what he's natural at anymore, actually. But so he's getting a bit lost with those runs. So you can see that's their tactic, and it will probably pay off eventually. Just looking at the passes stat here, 323 to Liverpool, 120 for us. So essentially 3 times the number of passes Liverpool have had. So I don't think he'll make a change yet. Joe Linton has put himself about a bit. He's playing sort of left wing-ish. I think position. Murphy's sort of playing right wing-ish. Both doing okay. So I'd keep it as it is for now. I do fear that they're sort of setting us up to break our hearts a bit here with a late 1-0 or something like that. But fingers crossed we can hold it together.
Would you change it in the second half, or would you keep it as it is for maybe it's up to the hour and maybe do what Tim suggests and bring Gale on for Joe Linton?
No, I definitely wouldn't change it at half time. For once, I'm saying to stick it where we are. I'd look at bringing the likes of Almiron or possibly Gale for Joe Linton later, but we'll see how we get on in that second half. We'll call it when it needs to happen. But we've been solid right through the centre really, and even the wing backs have put in some good tackles or passes as well. But we're very happy so far. And I said at the start, if we get to half time, we'll see where we are then. But let's hope we can. I'll take 0-0 now. I'll snap your hand off. Never mind the win. I'd be happy with the 0-0.
Yeah, me too. Martin, would you change anything going into the second half, or would you leave it as it is?
I would. Yeah, I'll disagree with everyone. I would change it. I would bring Gale on. I think him and Wilson have a better ability, I think, of maybe picking a pass through this defence. So I think that I said before, I think that centre pairing are there to be had. So I think if you a couple of times I've watched it there, Murphy is kind of running, as Daz said, Murphy is making those little runs in behind. He's made some good runs and we've not found him with that ball. And I'm not like the couple of times that he's played that ball through and he's gone, Joe Linton has been 5-10 yards off the pace back from the two of them. So I don't necessarily think, unless he, again, as I said, he gets in there and he starts getting himself about the game, I think Gale might just offer us a little something more that we're not getting from Joe Linton at the minute. I don't think Joe Linton is offering us anything. He's certainly not holding up play as he can do. So put Gale on, get at least back to your man Phillips, I think, can be got at. I certainly think Fabinho's there to be got at as well. So yeah, I would get Gale on.
Okay, Pete, any changes for you?
Not yet. I would just sort of add to that point that Martin made about Joe Linton. I think Joe Linton is the sacrifice today. And from what I've seen in the first 45 minutes, I think what they seem to be doing is kind of sort of loading the left-hand side. So what Joe Linton is doing, he's supporting Richie, who we've already said is struggling defensively, with the extra man back defending. And what we're then doing is pushing the right-hand side further forward. So Murphy's effectively a second striker. But what that's allowing Yedlin to do is bomb forward. So we're going all attacking down our right-hand side, but we're staying quite defensive, or as defensively as we can on the left. So I think Joe Linton seems to be the sacrifice tonight. And the only reason I say that is because I'm seeing how hard he's working off the ball. Now, we all criticise. I'm one of his biggest criticisers here with Joe Linton, but I can't fault how hard he's running and working and pressing off the ball in midfield and even in defensive areas. And I think that whether that's Bruce's plan, I have no idea, but that's certainly what it seems to be doing. He seems to be coming in and really sitting in. It's been going well. Obviously, we've sacrificed a couple of chances, but look, this is Liverpool. We talked about it. They're the Premier League European champions. They're going to create chances. They've got started with players across the team. We can't expect to go through 90 minutes and not concede any chances against them. But, when you've got Darlow, who's flying at the moment on great form and looking really confident, it's always going to give you a chance. But as long as we continue to press them up top, as long as we continue to push them back and continue to create chances, because we're creating just as many chances as they have against us, if we continue to do that, we're in with a chance. And if we continue to attack, Liverpool are always going to have the back in the back of their mind. The likes of Robinson, the likes of Trent, who like to just bomb forward and effectively be wingers, they're about to go back today. And like we talked about earlier, Yedlin had Robinson on his arse. And Robertson will be sort of having that little bit of doubt in his mind. Whenever he tries to get forward, he'll be thinking, well, can Yedlin get me the other way? And when a player is thinking like that, that's when you've got them. That's when you've not got them at their best quality. And we need to continue that. Newcastle are very much like a book. You can read them, and as you get into the second half, they start to sit deeper and deeper and deeper. Liverpool will pick us off. They'll get 2 or 3 goals off the back of that. We need to keep pushing.
Yeah, okay. Anyone interested in the darts? Price has just got through to the quarterfinals, beating King 4-1. Been very entertaining over the last couple of days. The darts. I always tune in towards the business end of it, and match play has been good. It's just it's always good to watch. Just as always, not the same without the supporters, but still the darts has been absolutely superb. Al-Walid, I'm not sure whether darts is a big thing in Saudi, is it?
No, at all.
We'll have to introduce you to some darts when you come over for a game eventually. What's your take on the second half? Would you make any substitutions?
I think we shouldn't be, maybe this is not good to say, but we shouldn't be greedy for the result, because it's good now, but as I said, we need to keep focusing in defense what we are doing. But the good thing that I see Liverpool, they are suffering defensively in defense. So, but unfortunately, we are not getting advantage of that because there is no tactic in attacking. We should depend just on corners, miss fouls, counter-attack. That's it. We shouldn't be going to the trap of Liverpool and making spaces behind us. Richie, I'm worried more about Richie, is he can just focus on Salah, and I can see Salah try to get Richie inside, so Arnold have space. Uh, I think I hope still continue hoping that Liverpool will not be lucky this day.
Okay. Rich, any substitutions, mate? Just before the second half kicks off, would you change anything now, or maybe it's 10 minutes in?
Yeah, I'd probably leave it to about 10, 15 minutes, like around the hour mark, I think. But what I mentioned previously, along the same lines as what Martin said, I think, bring Gale on, I think it would just cause a lot more trouble to those two centre halves. The only one I would probably possibly make later on is just see how Richie's legs are going against against Salah and Arnold. Because you might have to bring Lewis on for his pace in that area.
Yeah, okay. Newcastle United 0 and Liverpool 0. If you're just tuning in, the teams are coming back down the tunnel and getting ready for the second half. And same again, please, Newcastle United. Same kind of effort, same kind of determination, just with a little bit more, a little bit more determination in front of goal. Let's try and get a goal ahead, and Newcastle might be able to get something out of this game, which most of us, it has to be said, feared the worst. Will be interesting to see if there's any substitutions at half time. Just hang fire until the Newcastle team get onto the pitch. Looks as if it's as it was. Don't think there's been any changes by either team. Pitch looking in fantastic condition, and only thing is missing is the fans, as I've said, and as the cameras focus on Carl Darlow. He's been outstanding, really has been outstanding. Been the player of the season so far. Been outstanding in goal. And Dubravka still on the bench tells its own story. I would imagine, unless there's some major errors by Darlow tonight and against Leicester, I would envisage that we probably won't see Dubravka until potentially the Arsenal game in the FA Cup. I can imagine him getting a run out in the Arsenal game. As the game kicks off, second half kicks off, and Newcastle 0, Liverpool 0. We'll keep an eye on the game as always and have a chat about other stuff. Did just want to come out about Les Ferdinand today. Obviously been quite a bit on the news about about more social media issues. It just seems that's always something that we talk about. And fair play to Les Ferdinand, who's come out today and been very, very strong on the abuse that Bright Asai Samuel received. It was racial abuse that he received on social media. And Les Ferdinand came out with the following: "This type of abuse on social media is too commonplace and has to stop in a society that now rightly places greater importance on mental well-being than ever before. How can people be able to set up anonymous social media accounts?" Something we have been talking quite a bit about. We've done our own documentary, of course, about this, and it was nice to see Kick It Out chair Sanjay Banjadari come out and say this: "We believe Instagram needs to review their policy for direct messages and consider cutting them off unless accounts are following each other. It isn't right that anyone can send abusive messages to whoever they want, especially when there is a solution to prevent it. We will hold social media companies to account until the right changes are made to give greater protection to players moving forward." Great to see this come out, Chris. We've seen it all on social media. I don't want to drag it out too long, but just good to see someone like Celeste, Chris, coming out and making such a statement.
Yeah, we need it to be taken seriously at all levels. You've certainly done your part. We've done our part to get the word out, but we're just a drop in the ocean compared to some of the larger vessels out there, it's a societal issue. It's not just with football fans, but it just seems to be acute and sort of in a sense like kind of the new hooliganism is against each other in terms of social media abuse. You used to have firms out there battling each other out on pavilions, and now we've got people sniping at each other in social media. So any positive steps to reform and to make the online space a better place for all is welcome and appreciated.
Yeah, it is. It's good stuff. Adam, Les Ferdinand also finished up with, "This will continue and continue until we stop it from being possible. I believe governing bodies across sport, not just football, need to come together to create a powerful voice which calls for social media platforms to change their stance." So, as I say, great to see Sir Les coming out with that today.
Yeah, I was just gonna mention that extra comment he made there, that we're asking for more of this until we require social media platforms to change their sort of cultural responsibilities. I mean, the platforms themselves are designed to encourage free speech, and over here we call it First Amendment rights. But at the end of the day, if we're encouraging people to be violent toward each other, or if we're encouraging people to say things that they wouldn't say face to face, then social media platforms aren't helping us be more free or have more freedoms. They're actually just making it easier to hurt each other, which defeats the point. So I'm pleased Sir Les said that. I wish it wasn't always down to Sir Les to be so vocal, and as you always say, sort of put your head above the parapet. I wish it was someone else as well. Hopefully more voices join in what he's been saying today.
Yeah. Okay, just over 50 minutes into the game, Yedlin was body checked just outside the box. Newcastle have a free kick in an interesting position. Some of the lads might be slightly ahead of me on this, but at the moment it looks quite promising. And free kick lofted in, and it has to be said, horrendous free kick, completely wasted by Newcastle. But yeah, still 0-0, 50 minutes on the clock. Daz, opening 5 minutes of the second half, pretty much the same as what we saw in the first half.
Yeah, it's too early to say how. It's following the same pattern, really. I suppose Yedlin was kind of through and body checked and the free kick, and nothing happened of it. As we have another free kick now, with Richie standing over it and sends it in. Gone nowhere. Yeah, and just on Les Ferdinand, there's no room for racism in any kind of sport or any walk of life, especially these days. And then in relation to social media, we've said it about Twitter a number of times. I know you're talking about Instagram there, but yeah, it needs to be some kind of authentication before you can set up an account or something like that. It just makes sense, like the way things are going now. But yeah, and I know that that's another good, valid reason why I had Les Ferdinand in my dream team. Go, Sir Les.
Good stuff. Shane, Newcastle 0, Liverpool 0. We're into the second half, mate, and it's still 0-0.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised by it already. I didn't think we'd be going into the second half 0-0. Just on Andre Yedlin, I've been a massive fan of him, and I know that's probably going to come under some sort of criticism because of his final ball sometimes, but I've always liked him. I think in terms of pace, you won't find many pacier players in the Premier League, and he's having a phenomenal game tonight. So yeah, I'm really happy with the way it's going. I think in terms of the stamina-wise, we are going to struggle when it comes to the 70th minute. But look, we have Dwight Gale on the bench. We have Almiron on the bench as well. So we do have options coming off for there. But at the moment, I'd say in the second half, we're looking more at the dominant team.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Malky Taylor has wished everybody at NUFC Matters a happy new year. Hopefully, he says, he sees the club sold and an upturn for everyone in 2021. Thanks very much, Malky. Nicholas has come up with a darts name for you, Al Walid. The Arabian Arrow. I quite like it. We'll have to get our friends at Q-Tech to get you a T-shirt done with the Arabian Arrow on for when you come and play darts at the Irish Centre in Newcastle. You'll have to put a little bit of weight on, because you might have noticed that a lot of the darts players drink a lot of lager and tend to have a big belly, mate. So you might have to knock a few pints of, maybe start on the Guinness and then some lager, mate.
Actually, we just use the dart for decoration.
The darts for the what?
Decoration on the wall. Decoration only on the wall. That's all.
The Arabian arrow, though, it's got a ring to
Never
it. I
play
like
it.
it.
Alois, have a chat with Spenny. He can be your coach. He'll get you up to speed, up to full fitness.
Is that for the drinking or is that for the drinking or the darts?
It is mine to try.
Drinking, of course.
That could be both.
I'm afraid he will. I'm afraid he will hit me with it by mistake.
Good stuff. Yeah, you've got a bit to learn about darts, mate. It does get you like Dave Chisnell's
Sure, yeah.
Dave Chisnell's on against Vanderberg now. I'm see who said men can't multitask. I'm watching the football and the darts. Martin, back to you, mate. What's going on in the match?
Liverpool with the corner there. Mane's just put it just to the side of the goal, closest they've came. Still 0-0, 50. I'm at 54 minutes near enough. Yeah, look, I mean, we're still playing okay. We're still pressing. Liverpool, I think Liverpool are misfiring in midfield. I was going to say kind of the back end of last season when Liverpool were really on fire. Jordan Henderson for me was just outstanding. But he's not. He's just this game. I've kind of been watching him a bit because I suppose as an ex-Mackham, he's one of those you love to hate. You know, when he puts an England shirt on, you're kind of going, yeah, you know, well, he's great. But obviously, when he's playing for Liverpool, you're kind of going, no, thanks. But he's just off the game. His passing's been a bit out. He seems a bit. I don't know whether he's kind of tired or whatever. I mean, it's all obviously it's good for us, but he's just not. He's not really in the game as such. Fabinho obviously on a booking now, and then obviously as we said, Phillips, the other guy at the back, or Williams, I think it is the other guy at the back. Again, you know, I think we can go at them. I'll go back again and just say I'd love to see Joe Linton just go at it a bit more. Kendall made a really good point on our group chat, which was if you could get a decent couple of balls into the box, Wilson is always in the right place at the right time. So I think that there is a goal there in us if we can just get a bit of service into the box and go at this back four, because I think there are mistakes there, and I think the more pressure we put on their back two means that Robertson and Trent Alexander have got to hang back to help defend, which means less pressure for us on the attack in front from them. So the more we can keep them occupied through that last middle, then middle and into defence, we stand as good a chance.
Okay, Pete. Honestly, mate, I didn't see this coming at all. You know, Liverpool certainly misfiring, maybe is a little bit up front, is the right word. Darlow in good form. But the lads playing a lot better than they have done in previous games.
I think we're giving Liverpool a little bit too much credit here about the fact that they're misfiring. I would say we're defensively playing really well. We seem really organised back there. We're playing for each other. You know, we're working for each other. The communication's there. We're well organised. You know, we're pushing forward, and yeah, at the odd time we're getting committed. We're committing maybe one or too many men back, but the work rate, you know, what we talked about with the Leeds, the fact that we didn't track back when corners broke down and we lost 2 goals. As soon as the ball's lost, we've got all the players breaking their backs to get back into position to help out the team. So I think, you know, it's equally down to us in how we're playing up against them rather than the fact that they're just misfiring. You know, they're having.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, Pete. I'm just saying I don't think Henderson's fully on his game. I'm not saying we're not playing well, but I think that's helping us, I suppose, is what I meant.
No, I was just referring to what Steve mentioned. No, I think you're right. I don't think Henderson's playing well at all. I don't think he's had a great season, if I'm honest. I think he's had a stop-start season because I know he's had a few niggly injuries and you can't really get into the flow. And I think that's been the biggest reason for Henderson not playing well. And he's definitely not playing well today. But yeah, I've been pleased with this. You know, we you know, in my mind, when we're in a position like this at half time, it's can we get to 60 minutes? Then can we get to 75? Then can we get to 85? And we have those little milestones, those little landmarks. That can we get to them points and still be in the game, still be within a chance? You know, and as long as Murphy and Wilson are still creating opportunities going forward, we're within a chance. I would say about the 60, maybe 65 minutes. If it's still the way it is, at that point, I would then bring Joe Linton off and get Dwight Gale on and get us really looking to push forward. to try and, I'm not saying go all out for the win, but to create an additional threat going forward, to make, like you said, Steve, to make them, I think Martin said it as well, to make them think about going backwards and defending, not just about all attack. Because with Liverpool, the longer the game goes on at 0-0, they'll throw a Regan, they'll throw Wijnaldum on, they'll throw their attacking players on to try and win this game. And by us throwing another attacking player on, we'll get them thinking, oh, we've got to be careful of the counter. So it might change their mindset in how they go through tactically. But, we're doing well. I just worry about us tiring. I said it at the beginning, and I know our lead mentioned it as well. I do worry about us tiring as the game goes on and is getting caught. But other than that, we're matching them. We're matching them, in a lot of areas. We just need to be smarter with our final pass. Again, we're just the ball into the box. Keep it collected easily. We just need to be smarter because we've conceded a couple of counter attacks that they could have punished us with on the back of our delivery into their box not being good enough into an area where there's fully Liverpool players. We just need to be a little bit smarter and play the right balls into the right areas. And if we do that, we'll commit Alisson to make a couple of saves.
Yeah, just looking on the group chat there as well that we have on WhatsApp, and Andre replaying Joe Linton's overhead kick. Feel he needs a little bit of practice on them, Pete.
Just a bit. I laughed out loud. I think someone was talking, and I apologise wholeheartedly for that. But we had a nice little bit of an attacking moment there, and the ball breaks into the box. The defender miskicks it. It falls to Joe Linton just above the penalty spot area. And any other better striker would just try and hold the ball up, maybe turn and shoot, or bring another player into the game. He just turns around and tries this weird bicycle kick, and it just comes to absolutely nothing. And actually, I was laughing, but then my laughter turned to fear because Liverpool broke down their left-hand side and nearly could have scored after the back of that. And that's the kind of thing. We just need to be smarter. Giving them back possession high up the pitch when we're committing men forward is not what we need right now.
Imagine if it had gone in, though.
Imagine
if that had happened, we'd have all needed to retire, lads.
Imagine if we'd have made contact. I don't think we'd have been laughing. Yeah. But the fact that he made zero contact with the ball without any pressure whatsoever just made me laugh out loud. I'm sorry.
I think that means that Rich can collect his bet now.
Yeah, I was just thinking that was the shit on target, wasn't it?
So here we are, lads. An hour into the game now. Newcastle 0, Liverpool 0. Newcastle holding their own, and it's anybody's game. Al-Walid.
I can see Newcastle getting slower in covering. I don't know what's wrong if Almiron play instead of Wilton and don't give him much defensive role. I think he will be great, but I don't know why. And he coaching the players, he should know better. But what Wilton can do and Almiron can do it.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what substitutions he makes, Rich. There's going to be substitutions at some point. You need a bit of pace, I would say, to maybe change this game for Newcastle.
Yeah, I think the obvious choice for the pace-wise is that you're either going to go for Gale or Almiron. I'd probably like to have Gale up there. I think just with that extra, his natural ability to finish, I think would, you can see what happens when Wilson gets in the right areas. Gale's, the same sort of style, similar sort of pace as well. The passing and movements there. If we can get that final ball in, you never know what might happen. I'm sort of glad it's actually still 0-0. It's very reminiscent of when we played Palace the other week, where it seemed to be, a battle in the middle of the park between both sides. I probably where I was a little bit more defensive, but it could be one of the situations where if it goes on like this, you never know. It might be where we get like a lucky possible winner near the end, which I think that's probably our best hope, because whenever we tend to take an early lead against any team, not just the big six teams as so-called, but we seem to invite them on and sit back with them for the rest of the game. We did it against Man United. We did it against Liverpool last year when we scored in the first minute and then we sat back straight away. We even did it against West Brom the other week as well. So, I think the longer the game goes on, I think the more chance we've got of possibly nicking it.
Okay, Chris, are we keeping you up, mate? You did your yawn live on the show there.
Sorry.
I wonder what the hell it was. I'm looking around and then I just saw you going, oh, God almighty, must have had a late night. As the dog keeping you up?
A lot of restless stuff, for me.
All right, okay, man. I wasn't prying into your personal life. Sorry, mate. Peter Robson asks a question. Which former Toon player plying his trade in England would you love to have back right now? Anybody spring to mind?
Oh gosh. I always liked Townsend. I mean, he was obviously somebody that did well for us, and then Rafa tried to have back. I haven't really followed how well he's done since going to Crystal Palace, but I mean, just a quality player. I mean, I'm not asking for a world beater former player, but just a quality attack midfield kind of player that I would like to see.
I would take Sissoko, Musa Sissoko. That's who I would take back. I was always at 50-50 with him, but that's who I would like to see him back in the Newcastle shirt. He does a lot of the defensive work. Spurs rely heavily on him, and he allows a lot of the creative players to go and do what they do. But that's who I would take back. Adam, what about you?
Well, those are both good shouts. For me, it would probably be Gini Wijnaldum. I think we had him right at the beginning of his peak, and he was such a tremendous player for us. And of course, we had to sell him to Liverpool, and probably had his best years there. Don't know if his best years are probably behind him now. I know he's not signed a new contract in Liverpool, probably for those reasons. He's getting on a bit now, but when he was at his peak, he was really a tremendous player, wasn't he?
Yeah, Almiron coming on. Substitutions on both sides of Newcastle United's dugouts. Wijnaldum coming on for Liverpool. So we'll.
Lucky. Gallo just put one wide. I thought it was in. He should have scored.
Oh my God.
Newcastle losing the ball whilst attacking, which has become a little bit of a frailty of theirs in recent times. And again, Salah puts the ball wide. Darlow not forced into
that's what I was talking about.
Yeah, that should have been 1-0.
Yeah, great move by Liverpool, it has to be said. Great through ball straight to Salah, who took one touch, completely played the defence. It was Firmino who put the ball through, and just a lovely touch to completely side foot the defence. And Salah rightly puts his top over the top of his head. Murphy off, Almiron on. That is Steve Bruce's first substitution, and a strange one because Murphy's played okay again today. Rich, that's a strange substitution.
Yeah, it is. I thought Murphy had quite a decent game actually. He's been looking to get in the right areas. The pace caused problems for Robertson. It's very strange. Unless he's just feeling the effects of having a few more games over Christmas, and perhaps he's been one of the ones that's been suffering from COVID, we don't know. No, I wouldn't have took him off. Very, very strange choice. Yeah. Going back to what you said about the extra players, I think Wijnaldum's probably one of the ones that I would have kept. He was, some of the performances he had when he was here for that one season. I think everyone probably springs to mind when he scored that man of match before he scored the 4 against Norwich. It was a fantastic performance on that day. So I'd probably go for Wijnaldum as one of the players who I would have back from somewhere else in the Premier League.
Yeah, Daz, as Wijnaldum comes on for Liverpool, just checking to see who's gone off.
They said
Jones has gone off for Liverpool.
Curtis Jones going off, and Wijnaldum coming on. Yeah, Daz, any players? I mean, Wijnaldum's been given a shout. I've suggested Sissoko. Anybody else spring to mind?
For me, it's Wijnaldum as well. But I'd only play him in the home games. And I hope he realizes today he's in an away game. So he was very good for us. Like he scored a nice few goals for us as well. It was sad to see him leave, but of course we got relegated. So it was going to go. But yeah, he'd be the one that's of current players that are playing today that we'd take back.
Okay, and yeah, substitution. What do you make of that? Almiron on, Murphy off. Strange one. Are you happy with that?
Yeah, because I was one of the lads who were debating, while we were all debating who would we bring on for Joe Linton. I was just thinking, I wonder, could we change both? Could we change Murphy and Joe Linton and bring on Gale and Almiron? So, look, let's try it. Let's go for it. Almiron's going to run anyway as well. Maybe Murphy was just tiring a bit. But maybe then look at bringing on Gale for the last 10 minutes. So just another throw of the dice. But to be honest with you, I'd be absolutely delighted with that 0-0. I'd be able to get onto a few of the lads, and rather than them slagging me off about this result, I'd be able to reverse that fortune.
Okay, Shane, anybody you would bring back who used to play for Newcastle, who's currently plying the trade in the Premier League?
Not in the Premier League, but a bit of left field. I'll probably have Chancellor November. I mean, he left us to go to Young Boys. He's over at Porto now, playing the Champions League football. Always thought that he wasn't given a fair enough crack at Newcastle, to be honest with you. Always liked him.
Okay,
give it a chance.
Perez, would you take him back? People mentioning him in the chat.
That's a good question. I mean, a lot of Leicester City fans. I mean, I'm on Twitter a lot because I don't have much of a social life, but I look at Twitter a lot, and a lot of the Leicester fans don't really like him. They always think that he's a waste of 30 million. He doesn't really start. He came on against Palace actually on the 70th or 80th minute. Didn't really do a lot. Doesn't really change the game. In a Newcastle shirt, I thought he played relatively well. He obviously did well at the latter end of his career at Newcastle when he had Rondon up front. He played well with him. Would I have him back? I think his aspirations were always to leave Newcastle. I think he left. I mean, he was doing this for 5.5 years. I think if he played in the team that we had now, with the attacking flair that we have, I think it would have suited him more than the team that the team that he had around him, especially at the start of Rafa's reign. I never thought he was worth 30 million. But would I take him back? It couldn't be worse. It couldn't be any worse than having Carroll on the bench, could it, really?
Definitely not. Thorvan, there's another one. Steve Bruce has given him a shout. Hope that's not who you're planning on buying in January, Steve. Thorvan, not for me. Didn't float my boat at all. Martin,
I'll tell you another good one, Steve. Going back to Kevin and Babu, I never really thought he was given a chance, but he's obviously, he went abroad. He did well. He's at Wolfsburg now, I think. But I always he had that game against Chelsea where he looked really good, and then he just went out of the side. But I thought he was a fantastic fullback.
Yeah, wasn't a bad player, but as you say, all about opinions. Mike Gent has come up with a good one. He says, Uber for me, Martins. He's only 28, apparently. Good one, Mike.
Brilliant.
Martin, who would you have back, mate? Anybody you would have back?
Yep, sorry, ball just going out for a corner there. I'd love to put Rondon back up front with Wilson. I think that'd be a
great shout. Great shout.
And if I was looking for the creativity, give me Johan Kabay back.
Yeah.
So they'd be my two.
Where's he at now, Johan Kabay?
I'm not sure. Is he still at Palace, just not playing?
Yeah. Ben Arthur, there's another one. Ben Arthur often gets mentioned, doesn't he? But couldn't imagine Ben Arthur under Steve Bruce somehow.
No, again, probably be ruined. Is Thiago coming on now for Liverpool?
Yeah. Yeah, good shout though. Rondon, not a bad.
Yeah, I think Rondon and Wilson could be amazing. And if you were going to probably stick somebody in behind them, then I probably would take Perez back, because I think he was that little kind of player that he scored some canny goals, but he was very good at the link up, just playing a little ball or a little flick off the heel. When him and Rondon were together, that was a decent front. Lorik Remy would be another one I'd take back.
Yeah, I like Remy was superb. Hit the ground running.
Go on, yeah. I was going to say, just throw Demba Ba in just for good measure.
Well, I mean, he's still doing a job. The only problem is, I think with with Remy and Demba Ba, both a lot. A few years have gone past since they came to Newcastle.
Yeah.
I'm not sure they would have the same effect now. But yeah, good shouts, Pete. Anybody you would take back, preferably someone who's playing in the Premier League now. I think that was the point that we were asked to cover. Yeah, go on, give us a shout. Anybody?
My initial one, if we're talking about who's playing in the Premier League now, my initial one was Gini Wijnaldum. Purely because he's still a quality player. He could play in this current system that we play right now. His contract's up in the summer. He would be an absolute no-brainer. Jose Perez, look, I wasn't that disappointed. He kind of compounded the disappointment of Rafa leaving when he then left and went to Leicester. I wasn't overly disappointed with him leaving, particularly because he went for 30 million, which I still don't think he was worth. Now, obviously, being from Leicester and speaking and knowing a lot of Leicester fans as well, they're right what Shane said. They don't rate it. They don't see why they pay 30 million for him. And they can see now the things that he said in that he only plays in small pockets over the season. He'll have 2 or 3 good games where he'll score, but he'll have 6 or 7 where he doesn't perform and he doesn't play well. And I think that's what Brendan Rodgers is seeing right now. So Gini Wijnaldum for me. I was also, before obviously mentioned about Premier League players, my other one was going to be Demba Ba. Now he's 35 years old. If anyone's been watching the Champions League this season for Besiktas, he's been playing fantastically well, and he's scoring goals still at 35. Now, him playing in and around Callum Wilson is exactly what he needs right now. Demba Ba could play the main striker. He could play in and around the main striker. He could do everything. He's fit. He's playing. He would be on a nominal fee. Yes, 35, but still, he's still got something to offer. He still looks pretty firing from what I've seen this season.
Lots of people making comment about Sav being in some kind of, I suppose, excitable state is the best way to describe it, because Shaw had to have a little bit of treatment and had his backside hanging out. So, Shaw, that was definitely one for you. He'll be definitely back under the stairs after that. Matty P, this is another great shout. Luc de Jong, yeah, I'm sure that would go down well. James Tavernier would like to have him back, says Tom Dixon. Yeah, again, another player that's been linked with Newcastle, or a return to Newcastle. We've also had Ivan Toney mentioned, of course, doing well at a lower level and didn't really get a chance at Newcastle. Al-Walid, is there any former Newcastle player that you would like to see come back?
Wijnaldum, if I'm not wrong, he was in Newcastle.
Yeah,
Wijnaldum, I can say.
Okay, and Rich, you already said Wijnaldum as well, didn't you?
Yeah, just going on it though. I was just thinking, I don't know who it was that mentioned they reckon that Wijnaldum's a free agent in the summer.
Yeah,
that could be a possible good partnership bringing in Willemsen, because they're good mates, aren't they? And obviously Willem's available free as well. So they'd be 2 quality additions to our current squad for nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it depends, of course.
Obviously,
whether Mike Ashley's still at the club, and that's going to be the big talking point in.
I think it would allow us to spend money elsewhere, no matter where we are with regard to takeover or whoever the owner is. Though you'd still have 2. We know they've both played international football for Holland, so just to get 2 internationals for nothing and allow you to spend whatever budget is available elsewhere, I think that would be ideal.
The problem with
they're not going to want to play in the Championship.
Yeah, sorry. The problem with the loan deals as well is they're free agents, but the problem is a sign-on fee plus the wages. So whatever budget we do get, if we do get a budget, which according to some of the papers is 0, the problem with your free agents. Oh, what a shot! The problem with those free agents is that it's probably a fairly big sign-on fee. I would imagine that the sign-on fee for someone like Wijnaldum plus his wages is probably not going to be anywhere near where we are budget-wise, I would think.
Yeah. 77 minutes gone. Newcastle United 0, Liverpool 0. Not a scoreline any of us would be predicting before this game. A couple of lads predicted a draw, though, so they've still got that opportunity, but most of us thought it was going to be a comprehensive defeat, I would say, is probably the right way to describe it. Newcastle have played well so far.
Oh,
What's going on there, lads? Because you're a minute ahead.
Yellow card, Phillips.
Phillips had just clattered Joe Linton into the sidelines and into the fence.
Oh, yes, I've just caught up there now. Oof. Yeah, bad challenge, that.
Check the end of the boards and we see it.
You know what I love about that? I love the commitment from Joe Linton. Because Joe Linton could have easily put the brakes on and just let the Liverpool player win the ball.
Yeah, oh, that's some hit.
Committing, and he was willing to take that challenge in order to win the free kick higher up the pitch. I like that. Because
Joe Linton is twice of his size, mind.
Yeah, and so he should be committing himself like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Free kick higher up the pitch. We've got a chance now with Richie.
That's what fascinates me, Pete, about him going in against central defenders. Like, he's a big guy.
He doesn't complain and roll around on the ground like we've seen from some South American players who come to the Premier League.
Jesus!
Oh, good save from Martin.
Oh, what a save!
Great I'm just catching up on it now. But Richie took a free kick.
Kieran Clark with a header. Yeah.
Kieran Clark with a header and a fantastic save. Puts the ball in for a corner.
That was going.
Martin, we'll stick with you with the commentary. You seem to be just slightly ahead. If you want to just talk this through.
Yeah, obviously, ball in from Richie, dead ball in from Richie from the free kick, straight onto Clark, gets up high, and just great save from the Liverpool keeper. But it was heading into the bottom corner. Ball back across at the moment, headed down for Fernandes. Liverpool clear, but it's up in the air. Thiago with a header. Joe Linton has the ball here. Across the left-hand side to Almiron, bursts into the box, ball across. Liverpool clear again. Joe Linton has the ball here. And he's shooting. Yeah, that's for Rich's side. That's another Joe Linton shit on goal. Ball coming back in from Fernandes. Beats the first man, doesn't beat the second. Ball still with Newcastle right-hand side coming in. Keeper punches away. Ball back in. Oh.
Break on
here from Liverpool. Yeah. Wijnaldum out to Robertson on the left-hand side.
Well done, Fernandes.
Yeah, well done. Fernandes with the tackle out for a throw to Liverpool just past the halfway line.
Got to be perfectly honest, that shot from Joe Linton was a lot better than normal. I mean, it wasn't anything special. Don't get us wrong, but there was more power on it. He hit it better. Yeah. So again.
She went clear off the line. I think it's
oh my God! Well done, Kieran Clark again, is it?
No, I think it's Shaw. I think fantastic clearance.
What an amazing clearance! Yeah,
brilliant that, absolutely brilliant. Newcastle 0, Liverpool 0. 81 minutes played. Still in it, lads. Still in it. Still an opportunity. This is anybody's game. It has to be said. Newcastle or Liverpool could sneak this.
Yeah. The 3-2 is still on. The 3-2 is still on.
Took it off Martinez's toes. It was going in. Shaw just comes out of nowhere and clipped it away.
I tell you what, the first ball save from Darlow was class as well.
Brilliant.
And surely he was felled there by Mane climbing over the top of him, no?
Yeah, I agree.
Look at that. Look. I mean, he's climbing all over him.
Yeah, that was a foul. No doubt about it. That was a wonderful clearance by...
Great save.
Wonderful save from Darlow and a wonderful clearance by Shaw.
Thiago's pass there in the build-up. Both
diagonal ball across was amazing.
He's unbelievable.
Yeah. Unbelievably, at 0-0, the possession again, Newcastle, 28% possession at home. Quite a remarkable stat, that. It really is. You would think in a game like this, and watching this game, it feels like a 50-50 game. But when you're sitting watching, the game and looking at the possession stats and looking at the stats in general, Newcastle's passes 218 in the game, Liverpool 555. It's remarkable watching those kind of stats in play because it doesn't really feel like that kind of game, does it, Chris?
No, I feel like they are fulfilling what I said about how Newcastle seems to have these strange performances against the top 3 or top 6, and you wish that they could play like this against the bottom tier sides and clean up a little bit more. Obviously there's always going to be something extra, and you're playing the champions, you're playing Liverpool. It's always going to be a huge match for Newcastle, whether or not you have any fans in the stands or not. But I think it's sort of like when Newcastle been disappointing us for a while. They tend to turn it around. Not expecting a win here, but
the ball was in the net, but it was offside.
Offside.
Yeah, 3 offside.
Lucky.
I'm way behind, so.
Yeah, definitely offside. No doubt about that. Adam, here we go. 7 minutes to go plus stoppages. Newcastle 0, Liverpool 0. Are we going to get a winner?
I just dread, Steve, that they're setting us up for heartbreak. I've seen it too many times before. I'm so far behind that I'm just listening to you guys now. I'm watching the news. I'm not even watching the game. No, I'm kidding. But
you're still watching Man City, are you?
Yeah, I'm kidding. But you guys are so far ahead of me. But man, the reactions that you guys have had has been brilliant. But yeah, I just really dread that we're gonna get our hearts broken here. But fingers crossed.
Okay.
Can I just say,
yes,
Shaw has been class tonight.
He has.
Yeah.
They all have, actually. I mean, to be fair, we're blowing out of our asses a bit now, but they've all been great.
Brilliant defending again. They're starting to get chances now, but defensively, we're just getting back just in time. Another clearance, I think, from Fernandes this time.
To a man, Newcastle, when they're like this, they do backs to the walls very well. They definitely do, and that's something which Rafa had drilled into them. Working together, working hard together will always get you something out of a game, and Kieran Clark's been exceptional tonight, but as you said, there's been a few outstanding performances. Shaw's been exceptional. We're not all going to be saying Darlow. We're not all going to be saying Darlow for man of the match tonight, Daz, are we? I don't think.
No, and Lewis is coming on now for, is it Richie?
Richie,
yeah. So he must be just wrecked at this stage. No, we're not going to be saying Darlow. It'll be interesting actually who we do say. So we'll get that far yet, but no, just very nervous now. You mentioned holding out, trying to get a winner. See, if I've been nearly trying to bring it into the corner flag at this stage. I'm that worried about Liverpool's attack here now. But let's see how we go.
Okay, Shane, are we going to get a winner tonight?
I think one of the nice things about this game is not having Shelby. I think having Shelby sitting just in front of the defenders, all the balls that he plays are kind of long. But not having him in the team, we aren't doing the long balls as much. All the passes seem precise. We have a bit of cohesion, and we just seem a lot more fluid, really. I think Liverpool are putting on the pressure now. That was always to be expected. I think the pessimist in me always thinks that against Liverpool, with 5 minutes to go, we probably will lose it still. But even if we lost this at 1-0, to a man, we have been absolutely class. And if we could play like this week in, week out, which is the most frustrating thing because we don't, we could be in the top 10 easily. So it's been a really good night. I mean, I was talking to you in the Twitter group about coming on here, and I was dreading the worst even before the game. I thought it was going to be 3 or 4-0. So to be within a couple of minutes of making a point here is just fantastic.
Yeah, it's fantastic. All right, Martin, is it time for a winner? Do you think? Can Newcastle get a winner, or are we going to be content with a point?
I mean, look, it's 0-0. So I mean, everyone's a winner. We're in it to win it. Defending's been great. Liverpool are starting to up it a bit now. No great defending again from Shaw there. But yeah, look, I mean, we're still in it. I mean, this is from a point of performance. This is such a vast difference to the City game. It's yin and yang, but yeah, look, Liverpool, if we can defend this corner, 87.5 minutes I'm at now, if we can defend this, keep playing like we're playing, then, look, everybody stands a chance. So I think...
Fantastic save from Darlow. Get it out.
Oh, what a save, Darlow. Get it out.
Break.
Outstanding.
Go on, now. Go on, Mickey.
Outstanding save.
I know, unlucky.
That was like a Jimmy Montgomery 1973 FA Cup final save almost from Carl Darlow. Like got right down to his far post and didn't knock it up onto the crossbar, but certainly had to make a big effort for that. And great save by Darlow. Must have heard us saying that we're not going to give him man of the match tonight. And he's
I was just going to say we were going to say we're not going to say Darlow, but like I'm kind of changing my mind now.
making a late play for it. Yeah, couple of minutes to go, Pete. Plus stoppages, mate. It's anybody's game still.
They're pushing. They're really pushing Liverpool on. I tell you what, defensively,
that's a great save.
Every single one of them across that back line has been outstanding today defensively. But for me, an early man of the match, Fabian Shaw defensively has been outstanding today. This is the best performance I've seen from him for about a year and a half. And you know what? That's the little passage of play where Liverpool really looked to put the pressure on. He's won the ball, or he's committed attack in the middle of the pitch. The ball's gone out to the right-hand side. He's ran out there, even though it's not his position. He's gone and blocked the ball for a corner. And his reaction afterwards is to say to the lads, come on. I've not seen that passion from him. I've not seen that passion from him for over a year. And I love it. And that's what was missed about Fabian Shaw, is that passion and that quality of defending. He has been outstanding. I don't care what happens now for the remaining of the game. He is my man of the match. He's been outstanding today. Really, really good to see.
That's the shot that we had with Rafa.
Yeah, definitely.
I was just going to say it's a very, very Rafa performance tonight against Liverpool. The back three have been really compact. They've been hard to play through.
Yeah,
they've been really, really organised, which we haven't been the last 18 months.
Yeah, I mean,
lucky.
The frustrating thing about this is, you know, we played like this against Brentford. You're through the semi-finals of a cup competition, you know. That probably annoys me more than anything else. But look, hey,
1 minute.
One minute to go in this match. Newcastle United 0, Liverpool 0.
4 minutes of injury time.
4 minutes of injury time. Yeah, Carl Darlow is the man of the match for Amazon tonight, which comes as no surprise. He has had a fantastic match. We will be going through that at the end of the game quickly before we finish tonight. Let's just hope Newcastle can hold on, Al-Walid. 0-0. Your prediction might come true, mate.
I hope. Yeah. It's a difficult time, really.
You're lost for words, mate. You're lost for words.
No, actually, I'm not prepared to say anything. I hope it's just... I'm not worried. I don't want a goal. I just want to end this result is fine for me.
You just want to end this torture.
I don't want to win.
Shaqiri's coming on.
Rich, are we going to get something out of this?
Oh,
or are we going to get hit with a sucker punch?
Salah's coming up.
Salah.
Yeah, I hope it's not one of your classic smash and grabs against us, Steve.
Yeah, smash and grab. Yeah.
But actually, to be fair, I think my prediction's not too far out. I said I would go as long as our goal difference doesn't take a hammering.
Yeah,
which it isn't. We have more than did I say 25 or 30% possession? Like the only thing I'm going to lose out is the fact we didn't score a goal. So that's not been too bad. But,
and Joe Linton had a shit at goal.
Yeah, that was it as well. Yeah. So
winner, chicken dinner.
I think the fact
I've been really impressed with is Shaw tonight. I think he's as the lad said. I think we forget that he's an international defender who's, you know, since he signed for us, when we watched him when he played in the Euros before Rafa signed him, and I think was it 3.5 million we were able to pick him up for because he had a clause in his contract. It shows he can do his job. Yes, he's comfortable on the ball. He can bring the ball out and all that. But tonight's been, a classic backs to the wall centre half performance by all three of the centre halves. I think it's been fantastic display, and I think he's proved some of the critics wrong that have said that he's been passed and doesn't care about the shirt anymore, wants to be away. So I think that's been heartening tonight as well. So, but yeah, I think we can hold on here for the point. So fingers crossed.
Big shout out to a human, I think. He says, come boys, Cardiff City fan, bigging you up. Give me a shout out. Local boy supporting his local team. You can't fault that these days. Come on, Newcastle, dig deep and go for it. Thanks, mate. Frank Hughes says, lucky Clover. Looks like he's been on the sherbets. Klopp. Jason Carter. Stu Flyboy, the whole club, mate. It's dead. Lots of people still quite against Steve Bruce despite this performance tonight. I'm going to give Steve Bruce a bit of credit tonight. Obviously, whatever he said, done in that dressing room and at training between the last game and tonight has obviously had a desired effect, and certainly down to Steve Bruce. The one thing you'll say that is down to Steve Bruce is picking the team. He has to put the names on the team sheet, pick the team, pick the formation. And he's done a good job tonight. So fair play to Steve Bruce. We can all criticise him when things go wrong, but you've got to give the guy praise when things go right. And with just less than a minute to go, let's watch this game. Let's watch this game out.
Come on, 10 seconds. 10 seconds.
That's as long as my sex life. Come on, lads.
Great to see just Callum Wilson using his brain. That's a sign of an experienced pro, taking the ball down the down the pitch, just eating away the seconds, eating away the clock. Jurgen Klopp does not look happy whatsoever. I've seen that look on Klopp's face a few times this season. I've got to be said. Stu,
if he had 9 subs, he'd be all right.
Stu, as always. Bruce out that fraud will never win me over. Never.
Yes. Take that, lads. Take that.
Can breathe now,
Happy birthday to Steve Bruce. Full-time Newcastle United 0, Liverpool 0, and that is a superb point against a team currently sitting at the top of the league and obviously the Premier League champions. Chris, give us your full-time assessment and your man of the match, please.
Yeah, I was expecting a thrashing, but again, they seem to set up right, make the right shape. Great match. Shall I give my man of the match?
Yeah.
Okay. Man of the match. I know people are going to say Shara. I'm going to say Matty Longstaff. Shows that he belongs out there. He is a Premier League player. Can hang with the top guys. And I'd like to see more building around him. Fair play to the lad.
Yeah, okay. Adam?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, any of the back three, any of the 3 centre-backs could get man of the match. They were all tremendous. I'll give it to Carl Darlow myself, because if he doesn't make those 3 saves, we lose the game comfortably. And then on Matty Longstaff, boy, I'd love to see him play in a team that has 50% possession. Wouldn't that be something? He'd be tremendous.
Yeah. Okay. Man of the match, sorry, Adam?
Carl Darlow.
Okay. Daz?
Yeah, absolutely delighted, Steve. There was a lot of standout performance tonight, even in a 0-0, but it's against Liverpool. The likes of Darlow, Shard, anyone in the back 3, Longstaff and Hayden as well, and Wilson. But I'm going to give it to Matty Longstaff. Look, we can't send him out to Derby County on loan, and Man United, no thanks to 40 million if you're going to offer that either for the brother. But we need to see him playing every week, and just an alternative to Shelby and playing in the centre of the park and just providing us with something different. So yeah, and as you said as well, and as I said earlier, all credit to Steve Bruce. We don't give him credit because he doesn't deserve it most of the time. But yeah, I look forward to his tactical masterclass video in the near future and how we work this one out.
Shane will not be buying that DVD. It's not quite a 4-3 thriller. But we'll take it. 0-0. Newcastle United 0. Liverpool 0. A point in the bag. Another point towards staying up.
Absolutely. I know it's Steve Bruce's birthday tomorrow as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So yeah, that's definitely an early birthday present for him. I know he's been absolutely slated during the week. I think it's Luke Edwards that had an interview with him yesterday, and it went to shit. So I mean, credit where credit's due to him. It was a really good performance. I mean, say what you like about the guy is, as you said yourself, Steve. He's the one that puts the team out, and today to a man you couldn't fault any of them really. In terms of man of the match, it could have gone to anybody. It could have gone to Shaw, could have gone to Fernandez, could have gone to maybe Yedlin. I think he had a fantastic game. Long stuff in the middle as well. I think he hasn't done his chances of starting against Leicester any harm. Being a former goalkeeper myself, I think since he's come into the team, he hasn't put a foot wrong. So my man of the match is Darlow.
Okay, good stuff. Martin, your assessment of the game and your man of the match, please.
Yeah, look, like the lads, it was a great overall performance from the whole team. I think it would be hard to single anybody out as having a bad game. Midfield was brilliant. Matty and Hayden together, much different than Shelby and Sean. Definitely the way forward for me. Great defending. The back five, including Richie, Lewis when he came on, Joe Linton up front along with Wilson. It was great all around. But man of the match for me from prior performances and not giving it to Darlow, I'm going to go with Shaw because I thought he was class tonight.
Okay, Pete, same question to you, mate.
Fabian Shaw was amazing. He was just outstanding today, honestly. So good to see him play the way he played. We talk about Darlow saves, and we're absolutely right. He made some fantastic saves, but made that clearance off the line. But it's the little things that we don't notice during the game, the little tackles when he's getting close to the likes of Salah, Mane, Firmino, and stopping those little passages of play in between tight spaces. He's just cutting that off. Fernandez did the same. He just cut off any type of attack building throughout the game, and he just, what I loved about it is the passion. It looked like the passion was back tonight. It looked like it was lit again, and he really wanted it, and he was cheering up the other players. That's the kind of thing that we need. We talk about leaders. We talk about the fact that Richie does that often, but to see someone like Fabian Shaw do that, it must have. Other players must be looking around and thinking, he's up for this. I need to be up for this too. But really, really good performance from him. Easily my man of the match. But just in general, great to see. I'm gutted that Hayden's now suspended for the Leicester game after that yellow card. So I wanted to see that partnership with Matty Longstaff continue going into the Leicester game, because I don't think we've seen a more well-suited partnership than those two in their performance today than we have all season. Those two look really comfortable together. I saw at half time when they walked off together, all around each other, talking about little things in the game and what areas that they need to improve. That's what you want. You want a connection, and I thought that we had that tonight. Just really, really pleased. A very, very valuable point. A point that none of us were expecting, but it's a point that we'll take. I don't care about whether the game is entertaining or not. I could not care less. We got the point. The point is what matters. And for once we're on here talking a little bit more positive than talking about how many goals we conceded. So it's all good.
A point that Al-Walid was expecting, though, Pete.
Yeah.
Al-Walid, Mystic Al-Walid, sitting there. The change from red and white to black and white, and then a prediction of a draw for Newcastle. Al-Walid, well done, mate.
Yeah, thank you. So I guess I wasn't drinking, Steve.
No, but that
draw.
And neither's the guy who's still waiting for the coffee behind you.
The thing, I was optimistic this game and the previous one. I believe, usually the weakest side, they should do something for themselves, for their families in this good time of years. We are about to start a new year. We should do something for them. So I think we waste a point at least against Manchester City, because back then maybe we see they get corona. Most of some players in Manchester City, I think they were just more than two, and we didn't take advantage of that. That's why I was sad about, because obviously Manchester City was just taking the chance of Gundogan. It was a mistaken covering player. Good thing about Almiron today, I noticed when he came, when he got a ball in the defense area, he cleared it quickly. So I think this is an instruction being given that you need do not hold the ball, just get rid of it quickly. Um for the man of the match, is very difficult. Very difficult. I can't say Darlow. I can't say, but for me, I think the right and left back, because they did tremendous job in holding Robertson and Arnold's. Besides Salah Admani, they are difficult. They world champion teams. It's a great game for me. The only thing I'm sad about that Joelton, that I didn't see anything, and he get some other players get yellow cards. I noticed a move from Wilson. He saw Matty Longstaff get forward a little bit. I see him instruct Matty to go behind, to go back. So it was there is a plan. All confident, they're doing a special perform. They just don't want to. They are confident. They have a plan. They didn't make mistakes. I like the duo between Matty and Hayden. I think they are quiet today. They did get great duo. Less mistakes. Make the confident for the team. They cover the right and left back. Teamwork
indeed. Rich, last but by no means least, your review of the game and man of the match.
As I said during the game, it felt a lot like a Rafa performance. I thought the back three and the two in the middle, I thought were outstanding tonight. I think we've said numerous times on the show about someone to step in and take Shelby out the team. I think Longstaff's done that tonight. I think there's no way Shelby can get back in after that. I think with Hayden being now suspended for the Leicester game, I think you're probably crying out for either Sean Longstaff to play with his brother, which wouldn't be a bad thing because they should have a good understanding for playing for the youth team for so many years. But the one thing I will give Bruce credit, we've put a fantastic performance in. The one thing I hope Bruce doesn't do is now have a go at the fans by saying, "Oh, it's been coming. I've told you it's been coming," and stuff like that. That's not the way to get the fans back on side by having a go back at us if we're not giving them credit where credit's due. Regards to man of the match, Darlow outstanding as he has been all season. Racked up a lot more points from my fantasy team today. But I think I will be giving it to Shaw. I just think he's definitely his best performance this season. If not, probably since we saw him playing when he scored that screamer against Burnley when we won at home the other year. So I think Shaw for man of the match for me.
Okay, my man of the match is going to go to Kieran Clark. Anybody who can get Mo Salah substituted in a game is good enough for me. And I think most of you know I've got a soft spot for Kieran Clark. He's one of my favourite players at the club. Delighted to see him getting a run in that team. The guy is just everything that a Newcastle player should be. 7 out of 10 every week. Same as Richie for me, but I thought Kieran Clark was outstanding. Could have gone to anybody. Darlow was outstanding. Yedlin played really well tonight. Hayden and Longstaff in the middle. But Newcastle United was, as it should be, a team full of grafters, a team full of heroes tonight, with a valuable point in our battle for survival. And like I said earlier, well done to Steve Bruce. That wraps it up for 2020. A year which we'll all be pleased to see the back of. A year which NUFC Matters has been born and really grown from strength to strength with such a wonderful community. Been an absolute pleasure working with the lads again tonight. Great working with the lasses, the ex-players, the journalists, and everybody else who has chipped in. Most importantly, great to have such a nice community, it has to be said, on the chat, because everybody who chips in and puts the comments up on the, that I put the comments up on the screen, you've all got a valid point, you've all got an opinion, and that's what it's all about, being a football fan, having an opinion, and nobody's right or wrong. We've all got an opinion. You pay your money, you take your chance, and from our perspective, I'm pleased that we've helped a lot of you get through such a horrible time as a human being on planet Earth. But this is a great community. I'm proud to be a part of it, and we look forward to giving you more great content in 2021. Hope you all have a great happy new year, and we look forward to seeing you for the Leicester game. Lads, take care. Good night. God bless.
Take care,
All
guys.
right,
Guys, happy New Year.
Happy New Year.